Get ready for a cozy evening with this soothing compilation. Snuggle up in your favorite blanket, relax, and let the gentle tones guide you into a peaceful sleep.
These are without a doubt the craziest text messages I've ever covered, and I know that might be hard for some of you to believe considering all of the wackos we've gone over, but trust me, this takes the cake of lunacy. They are so outrageous that I at one point threw my hands in the air and said, "Enough is enough, fiddlesticks, this is fake. It has to be fake. It's too ridiculous." So I did a little bit of digging, and it seemed other people also thought that they might be fake. So after going through the evidence they compiled, it turns out that this is most likely real. The person that these posts seem to originate from actually did show up apparently in some court documents confirming a divorce. So from what I can tell here, it does seem like these are real, and the story here is legitimate, which is so fucking sad. And the man in these messages needs to be confined to Arkham Asylum ASAP. Dude needs his own personal padded cell, and you're about to see why. All of this hoopla starts because a mother breastfed her child. The husband says, "You've been breastfeeding? You know how I fucking feel about that." She replies, "What time are you coming back?" He says, "I don't know if I am." She says, "Why, are you mad at me?" "Yes." "What did I do? It's just the breastfeeding?" "That. The feelings it gives me and how I finally understand that you truly don't respect me." And she says, "I do respect you. I just thought we could compromise about the breastfeeding. Talk about it. If you don't like seeing it, maybe I can just do it in a different room." Weirdo's mad because the mother of his child is breastfeeding that child. Is there a worse possible reason on this planet for anger? I can't think of a single reason any sane human being would be upset about something like that. Unless it's like some kind of crazy situation like, "Hey honey, I just got some phone calls from some concerned parents. Apparently you tried to breastfeed our son Geronimo at the football game. He's 15 years old. Maybe it's about time we wean him off of that. We're scaring the other parents here." But this, they're talking about a newborn baby. She's still in the hospital with the newborn. He continues, "Well, we didn't talk about it, you just did it. And it's not about seeing it, I know it's happening. I'm done." Done? "Let me know when you're being discharged and I'll be there." Like, you're divorcing me? You go behind my back and do something I've stressed about not doing. That's no different than lying and shows how little you respect me. I wasn't meaning to disrespect you, I just wanted to give Wilder breast milk since he was born early, and I know it's the best thing for him with the antibodies and other stuff he'll get from it. The only thing wilder than that name is the husband's brain-rotted brain. Absolute delusion here to be making a huge stink about her breastfeeding a newborn. So, the name Wilder, and you're about to see they actually have another child named Hunter, spelled with a Y. Those two names really set off my bullshit alarms. Like, it was really giving me the heebie-jeebies of, this is fucking fish paste. This is baloney. But again, from what I've seen with what people have found, because the original poster and everything, people did a lot of super sleuthing. From what's been put out there, it does seem like it's legitimate. He continues his rampage, saying he's not a preemie, he was born at full term, it's still unneeded, he's still bigger than I was when I was born, and you could have always asked the nurses for a pump. It's a proven scientific fact that breast milk is no better than modern formula. He's wrong about that, by the way. Modern formula is fine for women that don't want to breastfeed or can't. I decided to fact check that claim, do a little research on it. Turns out it's not a scientific fact. You know what is a scientific fact, though? That this man is clinically insane. So keep in mind, I am not a breast milk scientist. I'm not a connoisseur of boob juice. I'm not the lactation lord. But from the bits and pieces I read about breast milk versus formula, it seems that breast milk is still the most recommended way of getting nutrients to your baby, if possible. She says, "I know, but the benefits of the breast milk still outweigh the formula. Latching helps drop the milk better than the pumps." He says, "Yeah, the benefits to where I'll never be able to look at you the same way again." She's confused, as everyone listening and reading this is right now, scratching their head wondering what the fuck is wrong with this weirdo. She says, "What do you mean? You think I'm a bad mom for breastfeeding?" And he says, "I think you're a bad wife. I think you don't respect me. I think you took a joy away from me. I think a lot of things." Took a joy from you? I don't understand what you mean. Formula can still be used. And this is where he drops the bombshell. He reveals where all of this anger and hostility comes from. I enjoy your boobs. Now they've been in another man's mouth. I now no longer enjoy your boobs. He goes Neanderthal mode. Boob sucked by baby. Boob no good to me now. No want tit no more. His own child he views as competition because his newborn son suckled his mother's bosom for milk. The most natural thing throughout human history. And somehow this psychopath thinks that his newborn has now tainted his wife's boobs and he can no longer enjoy them, saying that they were in another man's mouth. Wait until he finds out where that baby came from, because that baby came out of his wife's vagina. Well, actually, I guess that's not true. I bet there is a non-zero chance that this unhinged maniac forced his wife to get a C-section, so that way her vagina wasn't ruined by another man. I bet there's actually a really high likelihood that that's exactly what happened. And that's scary. This dude is so fucking red-pilled, he won't even let his own newborn son touch his wife's body. I bet he also wouldn't even let his wife change their son's diapers, because he views them as competition. He'd bust into the room, I know what you did, bitch! You looked at another man's wiener when you changed Wilder's diaper, didn't you? And just starts profusely crying, probably calls her like a cheater or something if she changes their son's diapers. This guy is so mentally unwell, I was stunned. Like I said, I couldn't believe this was real. She tries to talk sensibly to him. Just Wilder's, not another man. Their baby, their actual baby goo goo gaga infant is who we're talking about here, not a man. He views an actual, 2-day-old as a man? What the fuck? But anyway, he says, he's a male, and your son. That makes it incestuous in my eyes. And she says, it's not like that at all. And then he goes, I'm not saying anything I haven't told you before. So this man was probably riddled with red flags for a long time in this relationship, and now he is just breaking. Just melting down. That's definitely one of the most unhinged things I've probably ever seen anyone try and say. That breastfeeding your own child is incestuous. There are so many things wrong with that. I don't even know where to begin. It is so shockingly stupid. This guy needs to be put away. He needs to be institutionalized. ASAP. Dude must think that all the days pre-baby formula, so, the thousands of years BF before formula, it was all just incest with people breastfeeding their newborns. This guy is so dangerously disconnected from reality, it is scary. He is a loose cannon on the edge that is snapping. I'm going to spoil a little bit here and just let you know, he divorces his wife over her breastfeeding their child. Just let that marinate for a second. Sit and stew in it. That is insane. That is crazy. Let me pose a question to this individual. I blanked out his name, but I really want to call him by name. But I'd love to pose a question to him. Does he realize how fucking degenerate this is and how much of a pervert you must be to view a newborn baby as a man that is a competition to you? And it's not even like a random baby either. Not like that would make it excusable. Like, anyone who would go out there and view a baby as competition because they're getting breastfed is very fucked in the head. But this is another level of fucked because it's his own child. He fucking blew that load into the world. This is his DNA in there. And he immediately views it as some kind of sexual competition with his own kid. That's so weird. He is a menace. He is a menace. She leaves out some of the conversation here. I imagine it got way too personal with some of the information that was conveyed. But it starts here saying, I wasn't playing. She says, I know. You are a bitch for making matters worse. I'm sorry you feel that way towards me. I doubt they're going to let me bring y'all home, so good luck finding out or figuring out a way to make that happen. I just felt it would be okay to breastfeed Wilder, and we could compromise a situation where you don't have to be in the room. You don't get it. I told you that with Hunter. The way Hunter is spelled is so peculiar. Again, that's what really made me put on my fedora and do a Reddit deep dive on where this picture came from, who posted it, and if it was real, because these two names really just make it seem like it's like rage bait or some kind of joke. But again, there is quite a bit of evidence that points to it being legitimate. He continues, "That was a compromise you made then, and I still feel the same way about it. After you heal and get on your feet and are able to afford your own place, move out. Until then, no matter how long it takes, the bedroom is all yours. I'll set up an air mattress in Wilder's room tomorrow." Letting this fungus anywhere near their child seems like a recipe for disaster. He already views Wilder, his newborn son, as competition. Him staying in the same room as Wilder, I think, is just a terrible, terrible idea. Because it really does seem like he thinks that his wife has cheated on him now by breastfeeding their son. Like, he's calling her, disrespectful, doesn't have any respect for him and what he wishes, because he told her not to breastfeed because now he can't enjoy her boobs anymore. It's all just ruined. It's all kaput. All because Wilder was breastfed by her. So I really think having him anywhere near these kids is a bad idea. Fuck you, we're done. I'm going to talk to a lawyer about 50-50 custody because no matter how much I hate you, I would never keep the boys from you. You can stay at the house for as ever long as you need. I'll sleep in Wilder's room. I'm going to pause right there. You absolute goober. You goofball. You really think that you would get 100% of custody here? He's like, okay, since I'm such a benevolent saint, I will grant you 50-50 custody of our kids. Even though I hate you, you can see them sometimes, you disrespectful harlot. Brother, I'm going to give you the truth here. Brace for the cold water. Here it comes. If anyone, especially a lawyer, saw these text messages as well as the threats that the hospital was made aware of, you would never be around these kids. Rightfully so. It's unsafe to have them around you. You are deranged. You are absolutely fucking filthy. So I don't know why he thinks he would get 50-50 custody, like that'd be his call to make. He replies to something she said that isn't in these screenshots. She said, "They made a report because of what happened the first night I stayed in the hospital." I'm guessing he exploded then too about something. And he replies saying, "Not what they said. They didn't know anything about last week. They said because you told them this morning you didn't feel safe with me in the room and wanted me to leave." And she says, "I just didn't want to fight over me breastfeeding. Fuck you. I told you when we fought over it with Hunter I would leave you if you did it." This has been like his worst nightmare, having a child that gets breastfed. This has to be, with no exaggeration, the most insecure man on the planet. Bar none. No one else would even come close. He is so insecure that he worries that his own flesh and blood is a threat to him because they get breastfed by his wife. Wow. So again, this is so over the top that I questioned its authenticity. And as sad as it is, it seems like it's real. And he, from what I can see, was the one to start pushing forward, the divorce. That's the best thing for the mother and her children, 100%, and I'm sure she'll realize that down the line. It's probably very difficult right now. But, man, this guy is bad news. What a terrible piece of shit. I just had to talk about these. I was blown away by what I was reading going through this. I just had to share it. That's really about it. Awful situation. I'm wishing the best for the mother and the kids here. And the best thing that can happen with this guy is he gets put in a straitjacket and goes somewhere far, far away. Because I don't know how you even fix that perspective. This guy is so lost in the sauce, there is no getting him back. It's insalvageable. So yeah, that's really about it. See ya. Rejection never feels good, it always hurts, and rejection comes in many different shapes and sizes, many different forms of rejection. Maybe you're like me, 5'6", playing a pickup basketball game, driving down an open lane, about to get this easy layup only for it to be swatted last second by a 6'6" freak athlete. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's embarrassing, but it happens. Or maybe you're finally shooting your shot with this romantic interest you've had for a while, only to find out they're not interested and they turn you down. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I won't pull the punches here. It sucks. It feels like shit. But learning how to handle rejection is a necessary part of life. So back to my basketball example. What do I do when my shot gets blocked? Well, I get tears in my eyes and come up with as many excuses as possible, and I try and call a foul if possible, so that way we can run that back. So it's not my fault. It's they played dirty. And what happens when you get rejected by a romantic interest? You move on. At least that's the healthy way of doing it. Let me show you two unhealthy ways of handling rejection. This girl and this guy were communicating under the impression that maybe this leads to a long-term relationship. That's the context going into these text messages, and it starts, I love it. Oh baby, I'll service you in your car from now on. Straight up Brazzers storyline type shit. And she responds, ha 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 ha. Let's go on a date before I get serviced. I'll be there Saturday, lol. I'm actually staying the night there too. And then there's a lot of like redacted information here, like a CIA document, so I don't exactly know what was being said in between these, but she says, where do you live? Oh, okay, got it. So far things seem to be going well enough. They're making plans. She says, do you have plans for when you're here? And he says, hopefully just you, but no plans other than that. Just needed a breather from my son. I'm going to book a hotel room tonight when my check hits. Which is starting to give off a bit of a weird vibe there. She says, oh, how old is your son? 13. And then he says, maybe you could stay the night. She responds, I don't do that the first night, I'm sorry. And he goes, I don't mean all night, lol. And she's as confused as everyone else would be. So she says, ha 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 ha, what? You said stay the night. I meant like hang out at the room after dinner. Maybe cuddle up. I'm a huge fan of cuddles and the best in the world at giving full body massages. I highly doubt that. I'm going to need some citation for that. I don't believe you. That's not what I usually do after first dates. I just don't think we're on the same page with dating. That's totally okay. Just not a match. So she's taking this in stride. She's like, hey, is what it is. And then he keeps going. Exceptions could be made. What? Lol, what do you mean? I mean dinner. Hang out. And eat between your legs like a Sunday lunch buffet after dinner. Lol. Clap them cheeks too. So she's very gently saying no to this guy. And this is the approach that a lot of dudes take with the car salesman type shit. Don't take no for an answer. So he continues to just keep pushing like, no. What if I, the world's best full body masseuse, give you a happy ending? Where I eat your pussy like corn on the cob. I'll chew on your clit till it bleeds and I bust. How about then? How about that? How does that sound? I'll even clap your cheeks too, as a little added bonus on top of my service. So, when are you coming over? Are you out the door yet? Unsurprisingly, this last-ditch effort didn't work, she says, so you don't know how to listen, cool. Don't make exceptions for men who don't respect my boundaries. Fair enough. She said no, and he continued to be weird about it. It's a really fucked mentality to not accept a no and keep pushing. It's just creepy behavior that's never going to amount to anything positive ever. When someone declines something or tells you no to something, you should really accept that, respect that, and just move on. It's not like you're going to change their mind by being an annoying pest about it. Like, oh, wait, what? Rejection? Wait a minute. You're not thinking this through. What if I clapped your cheeks? You failed to think about that, didn't you? Yeah. So if I clapped your cheeks, now I assume you won't be rejecting me? What do you mean you're calling the police? This one's a masterclass on how to respond to rejection like an unhinged lunatic, so this one's getting extremely angry when getting told no. I don't know what the conversation is here. These two had met on like a dating app and they were talking. He says Mario, so perhaps the question was, who was Luigi trying to save in Luigi's Mansion? I don't know, maybe they were playing a trivia game. She says, okay. She doesn't seem super enthusiastic about that response, so maybe she's not a fan of the Super Mario Brothers. Who knows? But anyway, he says, how was the mall? Get anything good? She says, no, I didn't look. I was just returning something. And then she sends a picture of herself in an outfit. And he goes, oh, that looks really good. Gotta get you some lingerie. Admittedly, I don't exactly know what happened in between the last text we just saw with him flirting and then these. He goes nuclear here. He goes full fucking scorched earth out of nowhere. So I'm thinking that there's some text messages that were exchanged in between these two, so we're just missing an entire chapter of this anime arc that he goes on to reach the villain status. So she says, I don't want to drive to blank for blank, I don't have enough gas. And according to the context she provided, they had apparently had a date scheduled, but she had to cancel last minute because of something school related, and now she was texting him back just to talk today. And There must have been something in between him saying, we gotta get you some lingerie and this. I just don't know what it could be. Maybe he invited her, like, to another place, and she just said, no, I don't have gas for that. But anyway, he responds, oh, alright, that's cool then. Didn't know all that, lol. You said you had some school stuff the other day. Now is gas, lol. You dirty, fat, sloppy, broke piece of shit. You got no gas, but got gas to go to the mall window shopping, lol. Thanks for making my morning, lol. And she just responds, lol. He just desperately tried to spam as much hurtful shit as he could think of quickly, like in a League of Legends game when you get mad that your bottom lane's feeding or something. How else are you going to respond besides just laughing at this pathetic tantrum? So she hits him with a lol, which only sets him off even further, so he sends her picture back to her in order to keep insulting her. Yeah, this shit is funny, lol, fat ass bitch, you pushing what, almost 190, 200? I almost find it fascinating how anytime one of these weirdos gets their feelings hurt, they always resort to just like, well, you're fat anyway. You're fat. Like, it always comes down to that. The second that they get rejected or told no or something's not going swimmingly in their eyes, less than satisfactory, they always default to fatty, that kind of shit, and then just go on this, like, long-winded rant about, like, actually, I'm the nicest guy the world's ever known, and I was doing you a favor by showing interest. You're fat at the end of the day. That's the big... I didn't want you anyway. I'm not crying, you're crying. This one's just a little bonus, a cherry on top of the rejection cake. It's not exactly rejection per se, it's kind of adjacent. So this is somebody's ex who just texted her out of the blue. He says, you dead yet? That 4:22 a.m. crack pipe's hitting a little different today, so he gets bold and brash and says, you dead yet to her. And he doesn't get a response right away, so then tries to get a little more edgy. And then says, I'm going to fuck on top of your grave and smear dog shit on your tombstone. And this does get a response from her. She just says, get a hold of yourself. That line from her made me giggle so hard I had to throw this in here. You have this unhinged weirdo texting at 4:20 a.m. asking if you're dead and then saying that he's gonna smear dog shit on your grave while having sex on top of it. There's so many logical inconsistencies with that. A, who's going to agree to have sex at a cemetery on top of a gravestone? That's just guaranteed to get some, like, demons and spirits haunting you for life. And B, why would you bring dog shit with you to have sex? Even if you found a willing participant here, I feel like if you brought a bag of dog poop with you, that's immediately going to ruin the mood and you probably won't be having sex. Like, this just doesn't make any sense. This guy's spitting a bunch of nonsense here, a bunch of mumbo jumbo. And she just immediately calls him out on it, saying, just get a hold of yourself, you weirdo. It's so good. I just had to include that in here. Again, it's not exactly rejection per se. Like, it's not in line with the other two, but it's just something that I had to toss in. That's really about it. See ya. Good morning, everyone. I hope the holiday season has been kind to you. As we approach the new year, I wanted to bestow upon you some sage wisdom. As we get into 2024, I imagine many of you are going to choose a New Year's resolution to be more confident, and I just wanted to show you what it looks like when you go a little too hog wild and immediately blow it and pretty much fail the New Year's resolution before it even begins. This exchange was shared today. The two people here have met a few times and there was nothing odd about any of it. Now, out of the blue, this guy says, "Can I say something weird?" and then sends that face. When that face hits the text messages, you know shit is about to go downhill immediately. Nothing good ever comes from seeing that face. It's like Bloody Mary in the mirror. But she says, of course, with an exclamation point, almost excited to hear what weird thing he's about to explain. So he goes, He starts charging up his Kamehameha here. He's about to drop a fucking nuclear bomb on this conversation and this friendship. So here it comes. Happy New Year. I just saw a post celebrating fat beauty, and you were the fat beauty closest to the top of my contacts, and then drops this hot emoji here. So I just wanted to check in and say hi. And they say chivalry's dead. If that line doesn't get you laid, nothing will. Flirting has never looked so good. So how did she respond to this silver-tongued devil? Holy fucking hell. We'll just casually act like you didn't just say that. And he's dumbfounded. He can't process what went wrong here. He goes, I understand how that was the wrong thing for me to say. Actually, I don't. Please explain how I can prevent making someone uncomfortable in the future. It's like an exit survey after customer service experience. What did you appreciate and what did you not appreciate? How can we improve in the future? I have no doubt this was the last thing she was expecting after saying that she'd like to hear something weird. But anyway, I'll go ahead and break it down for you, brother, on where this bulletproof strategy went awry. Let me give you like a counterexample maybe to help illustrate the point. Let's say there was someone I was talking to that I was somewhat romantically interested in, and I opened this conversation by saying, "Hey, so I just read this post about stupid bitches, so naturally I thought of you. How are you?" It wouldn't exactly go over well now, would it? So you coming out of the blue, guns blazing, calling her fat is not exactly the compliment that you may have thought it was. But anyway, there is another series of text messages I wanted to talk about because it had me giggling this morning. There was an individual giving away 100 articles of clothing, and somebody wanted to come claim them. But things really took a turn for the worst. It starts innocent enough. Are the clothes available? To which they say, yes, please God, take them. Very clearly wanting to get rid of all of these clothes. And then they ask for the location. After receiving the coordinates to the rendezvous, they ask, can you meet me in blank? So meeting at a different location that's a little closer to them. To which they understandably say, no, I'm not meeting for free stuff. And then say, I can gove you $10 to brung them, okay? And they just say no again. It's an almost adorable sentence. I can gove you $10 to brung them. It's like baby talk in text message format. It reminds me of the dialogue in the game Bugsnax. Now, this individual clearly does not want to drive out of their way to deliver free stuff to this person, not even for $10, because that's a wild inconvenience to them. They're giving away the free stuff. If you want it, it should be on you to come get it. Like, it's not their responsibility to drive an hour out of their way to deliver it to this stranger. Jesus, thanks. Keep them then. I have a newborn Jesus, which is a huge statement to make. We've got Jesus Christ coming back for round 3, I guess, because she just gave birth to him. I don't have time to waste it. Do you want them gone or not? I don't know why she's trying to flip this around and haggle with this individual who's trying to give away the free clothing. Like, obviously, they want them gone, but they're not going to drive an hour out of their way to get rid of them. It's not that big of a deal. Whoever wants them can come get them, and if no one comes and gets them, I'm sure they would have no problem just donating them to, like, Goodwill or something. This lady has no leverage in this negotiation here whatsoever. So do you want them gone or not? Your only option is to bring them an hour over here to me. Like, no, clearly, that's not the only choice to be making here. That's the bad ending. That's like the stupid ending. If you do that, you have done a big fucking blunder. They say, I do, but I'm not driving an hour round trip. If you want them, you'll get them. If not, someone else will. The brass tacks, the cold hard facts, the cold water. That is the truth right there. If you want them, come get them. If you don't, someone else will. They then ask for the address and then say, it's not that far from blank, and blank is 10 to 15 minutes from blank. Everything's redacted here like a CIA document, so it's a little hard to keep up with. But they're still trying to find a way for them to bring the clothes closer to them so it's more convenient for them to pick up the free shit. They say, I live closer to blank, so 50 minutes, so yeah, you could meet me to blank. That would help us both. Thanks if you would be nice. And they just, again, say no. This sets her off, and she goes, bitch, have a good day. I have kids, me and I live further than you, and I was ready to pay, have a good day. To which they say, I have kids too, doesn't make you special. I ask because everything expensive, I would drive down me for someone, obviously English people are actually asshole. Anyway, I wouldn't be like you, me, I would do halfway for someone that's need it. Obviously you have money, so you don't give a shit apka about any but yourself. You were rude. That's also what I didn't like. Instead of figuring something out for both of us as well, so you're mama person, not me? I'm not sure what that word is because it's blocked by the arrow. One of the most difficult to read statements I've ever read since trying to read Finnegan's Wake. I recognize English may not be her first language here, but goodness gracious, that was a lot to try and get a grasp on here. So I believe what she's trying to say is that if the roles were reversed, and she was the one giving away free clothes, she would have no problem driving an hour out of her way to give them to someone. Which is a load of dirty barnacles. What a fucking load of fish paste. What are you talking about? You won't even drive over here and get the free clothes that she's offering. You're making a big stink about it. So how the fuck am I supposed to believe that you would drive an hour out of your way to bring someone else free clothes when you won't even go here to get them without making a huge deal out of trying to get her to come to you instead? What a ridiculous statement. What an outright fucking lie. You're telling a fib. And liars will go to hell because it's a sin. She also wasn't rude, by the way. She's giving away free clothes and you're trying to take advantage of her kindness and try and push her to do even more for you, for your own convenience. You are the rude asshole, not the person giving away the free clothes. I know things are expensive, that's why I'm giving these away, but I'm not spending time driving to meet someone just to give them away. Like, would you? I would have paid with the only little money I have, so thanks. Yes, I would. Thanks. Go to church. What are you talking about? She's not asking for money and she doesn't need you to gove her $10 to brung them. Like that, just go get the clothes. She is already giving these things away for free. Just go get them instead of trying to shame her for not driving an hour out of her way for a fucking stranger who's too lazy to go do it herself. Like that is entirely a you problem, not her. And I don't know why you're trying to tell her to go to church. Why don't you go to church, plant your ass in one of the pews and pray for forgiveness for one of the 7 deadly sins of sloth, because you're so fucking lazy that you won't go do the bare minimum and instead start being an asshole to this person who's just giving away free clothes. The conversation concludes with, I definitely do not have money, what an assumption, go to hell. And she goes, great, exactly, shouldn't say that word. What are you talking about? You literally called her a bitch like 3 messages ago. What, saying bitch is okay, but not hell? HE double hockey sticks is too far? What is going on? How can you be such a miserable piece of shit? Like, this person is already giving away free clothes. And instead of going to get them and saying thank you, you try and shame them into driving an hour out of their way for your own convenience. How can you be so selfish? The entitlement here is absolutely incomprehensible. I just had to talk about it. This one had me giggling, but also fuming a little bit. Just trying to understand how people like this exist. This is free items that you are making a huge problem out of because they won't drive an hour out of their way for you for it. It's so crazy to me. But anyway, yeah, I just want to talk about these a little bit. That's it. See ya. If you've got a full belly, prepare yourself because you might just puke upon seeing and listening to this unbelievable, embarrassing cringe. This is the worst flirting, the worst attempt at wooing a potential romantic interest I have ever seen. This is like playing a visual novel and then scaring away all of your potential love interests at once and getting the worst ending. Now, I'd like to give a bit of context here to the situation before we really dive into the meatballs from our spaghetti entree of cringe. A user on Twitter posted screenshots as well as videos from a random guy who had reached out to her on Facebook because he had seen her on a dating app. The two didn't even match, and I guess he must have assumed that it was some kind of glitch because they were destined to be lovers. It was fate that was pulling them together, but unfortunately technology had a malfunction, so he took matters into his own hands, tracked her down on Facebook, of which she had no connection to the dating app. She didn't connect any of her socials to the dating app, so he did some super sleuthing to find her on Facebook and reach out to her there to try and win her heart. And let's see how that went. Kelsey! I love that intro right there. It's straight out of Scary Movie, like that old commercial. What's up? He's coming at her like they're best friends from way back in the day. He then executes Order 66 and kills all potential for romance. He goes, okay, shit. Mayhaps that was a tad overly enthusiastic for a stranger danger message on a sunny Friday morning. There is so much quirk to the way that he texts that I'm getting uncomfortable. I can say with a high level of confidence that he is definitely in some kind of theater troupe because he is typing like he's acting out some kind of skit for a play. It's a little much here. My bad. Let's go with, I can explain. Fuck yeah, that works. Then drops a couple of emojis and then one of these bad boys. How she didn't immediately fall in love with this man is beyond me. This is aggressive. And it's already creepy because it's a complete stranger who saw her on a dating app and then tracked her down in order to, really directly communicate with her. So, let's go over where things went wrong here. I'll go ahead and get the playbook out like John Madden and say where everything fell apart for the offense. from the start, basically. There is nothing that's even remotely salvageable from what he tried to do here. There is nothing more annoying than texting like you're talking to yourself during the text. Like when you say something like, Kelsey, oh wait, shit, mayhaps that was a tad too far on a stranger danger sunny Friday afternoon. Goodness gracious, how do I save this? Like that is so fucking lame. That is shameful. That is just downright shameful. I am shocked he didn't drop like an asterisk nuzzles you and then an asterisk you there? Yeah, and then one of those emojis. So she said, sorry, do I know you? And then it reactivates this cringe protocol. He says, oh hey, no, we don't know each other. Sincere apologies for this subterfuge. Oh brother, this guy stinks. Dropping subterfuge here in your creepy approach to a stranger. If you give me the tiniest bit of room, I'd be happy to explain. I reckon that said explanation will bring laughs and smiles. P.S. Not trying to rope you into a pyramid scheme to sell fancy Tupperware. Yet. He's trying very hard to be self-aware, and when he starts sending his voice memos to her, he reiterates 1,000 times like, this is weird, you're probably gonna think I'm weird, and then just keeps doing it. He sends so many voice messages that go for a long time. It's making my voice crack because of how fucking embarrassing it is. And you want to know the wildest part? I'm getting ahead of myself, and it's a spoiler. He has done this to multiple women, apparently. Other women have come forward after this tweet and all of this, the receipts here and all that went viral, with other women showing their interactions with him, and he even uses like the exact same lines on other women, which is really odd considering that has to be a 0% success rate. These can't be working well at all. It's so weird. So she decides to play ball here and open Pandora's box to see what comes out. She says, explain away. And he gives a brief, cool guy thing. Oh god, I just spent 60 minutes singing to seniors and man am I drained. But fuck it, I can do this. He's hyping himself up in the text messages he is sending to this girl. It is so embarrassing, and he keeps doing it. But it gets worse because right after that, he sends a voice message.
Hey, Kelsey, how's it going? Don't mind me, I fucking hate texting. I think we're all better without it, so I usually use one of these when I can. Also, I don't know if you've ever seen that Key and Peele skit, but that's how I feel about texting. I could go on. Anyway, I just want you to know right off the bat, I fully accept how fucking weird this is. I'm sorry, but like I said, I think if you give me a second, you'll probably end up laughing. And not that you need my permission, but feel free to just laugh directly at me for being a fucking idiot, for I am surely about to embarrass myself right now.
I do appreciate your stamp of approval. I and everyone else will be laughing directly at you for this, and I appreciate that you recognize what an unbelievably weird thing it is to do. I don't know why you keep doing it. This is the first of many voice messages he sends, even after recognizing this immutable fact that it is weird and embarrassing.
And sorry for the delay. I was going to get back to you, but someone called about a gig tomorrow and I'm trying to help them find a musician. Also, I'm not sure if I'm fucking funny anymore. I just spent 60 minutes, like I said, playing guitar and singing to a room full of senior citizens, but the room was stuffy and hot. I had to do it with a surgical mask on, and I'm not sure if I have any funny or social energy left, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try and fake it right now. So thank you for your understanding and patience, and here goes nothing. I'm a fucking idiot. Enjoy.
He's actually treating this like it's some kind of movie audition. What are you talking about? I also I love that he immediately makes himself seem like super busy, like, hey, sorry for the delay. I know you were waiting on bated breath for my explanation, but I had to help very big musicians find a gig. You may have heard of them before. Bring Me the Horizon. I'm the lead singer. So I had a lot going on. I was double booked, so I had to give them a different band. You may have heard of them, Metallica. But anyway, let me go ahead and explain what's going on. I just finished one of my own gigs, in fact, so I'm a little drained, but don't be perturbed because I'm gonna do my best to fake it. So stay tuned for part 2. It's coming right up. Yeah, like he's about to go through his stand-up comedy routine, which you don't want to miss.
In the trenches of online dating for a couple of years, so I definitely know how to identify the kind of person I'm like, if nothing else, the world would be better if we were friends. So hear me out. First of all, I never fucking see that shrug emoji. No one else uses it. It's typed into my phone. If I type shrug with 2 G's, it just shows up. Same thing on my laptop. Like, I'll use it in work emails. Fuck it. So right away, I'm like, interesting. I don't get it, though. She's cute. For how pretty she is, she should be boring. Why does she seem kind of strange in a good way?
That's a spectacular start right there. I was like, she's kind of pretty, so why isn't she like a fucking lobotomite boring dumbass? Like, she used an emoji that I really like, and she's pretty. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Pretty women can't have a personality, but you're like defying all of science right now. He just keeps going on about this fucking shrug emoji. He's talking about her bio on the dating site, and he just really fixates on that. That shrug emoji is like Cupid's arrow to this guy. He fell in love instantly when he saw it in her bio. I don't know why he thought it was a compliment to say that she's like strange and different in a good way because pretty women are like boring or whatever, insinuates that a pretty girl can't have a personality. I don't know what the thought process was with that approach, but it's definitely a bold play.
I think you said something about live music. My job is actually live music. I play guitar and sing. I do about 25 shows a month. I know it sounds made up. I feel like I invented the job. It's redonkulous, but I live very comfortably. Life is good. I do play at a lot of retirement homes, and it's great for my self-esteem, Kels, as I am a big hit with women over 80.
Time out. Technical foul here. He just dropped a redonkulous. He just said redonkulous. And then not only that, in his only second voice message here, he's already just calling her Kels. They're not even on like a first name basis. They're not acquaintances. These are two complete strangers, and he's already giving her like a nickname. What the fuck?
Oh yeah, and just the night before, I'd been talking to one of my best friends in the world, Roxy. Just people that like match you and they just write hey. So if someone writes hey, I just write hi. And if someone writes sup, I go nothing much, you. And like people that match me and clearly haven't read my fucking bio, folks will match and be like, so what do you do for a living? I'm like, come on, Chelsea. Like, yeah, you're kind of cute, but I'm pretty damn sweet. Try harder.
Why are you even talking about this? You're like trauma dumping on this complete stranger right now that you've tracked down from a dating app to try and communicate directly with because you didn't match with her. What the fuck is this? Now you're just going on about like, oh, dating apps are so weird. People just say like, hey. So then I'm like, hi. You don't know how to have a conversation. You didn't read the bio that I painstakingly typed up. I spent a long time on that bio and now I'm offended. Ridiculous. Redonkulous.
I don't know. It's just to see someone mention that in a bio, I'm like, thank you. I can see that you feel the same as me. Yeah, if people, I always think that effort should match interest in dating. So if you're curious if someone's interested or not, remember that scene with Justin Long and What's-Her-Face in that movie about dating? Is it he's just not that into you? And he's like, if the guy's interested, he will call. And it's true. So I found a line a couple years ago and it's like, effort will always match interest. It will show you how interested someone is. And like, I'm pretty goddamn sweet. And I am not that lonely, bored, or horny. I'm not going to take breadcrumbs from someone if I want a sandwich. So if someone hits me with a hey or hi, you can go fuck yourself.
He's just sounding like a complete unhinged asshole here. It's not that deep. What do you mean they can just go fuck themselves? No one's even, like, what does this have to do with anything in this situation? This isn't even flirting. This is just blurting. He's just blurting out all of the most nonsensical shit in his head right now to a complete stranger. And not only that, this is probably not even his first take. I bet he recorded this like 10 times until he had one that was like, this is the one. This was smooth. And that's what we got here. We got the final product. This isn't even like the first draft, I doubt. That's mind-blowing.
I'm worth more. Damn it. This is where the Kelly Clarkson song comes in. Yeah, no, your bio is just, there was so much intentional effort put in. And honestly, the more I scroll down in the pics, I'm like, this does not match up. I don't want to sound like an asshole. Like, attractive people can also be interesting and funny, but it's just incredibly rare. I speak for myself because I'd like to consider myself one of those.
That's the end of chapter 2 from the voice memos, but don't worry, there's still a finale, and it's the extended director's cut. The next one's over 5 minutes long. Also, he doubles down on this whole, like, yeah, you're, like, pretty, but you have a personality, which that just does not happen. I don't know why he thinks that that's some kind of, like, grand compliment. It's very odd. Now, before playing the 5-minute, 30-second monologue here, he must have seen that she listened to it. He's like, gotcha! Yeah, I gotcha! Red-handed, you listen to it. Curiosity got the better of you. And then she says, dude, So you saw me on Bumble and found me on Facebook? How? Clearly very creeped out by it, understandably. And then he goes, oh, I honestly just typed in Kelsey and I guess I got lucky. I figured because you put live music we might have some friends in common or something. I blame Zuckerberg, and then laughing emoji. Which contradicts everything that he's said here, because he's constantly talking and referencing her bio, which I think is referring to her dating profile bio, especially because he does mention, like, online dating with Hayes and highs and shit. So I don't even know why he thought that would somehow save the situation. Like, she'd be fooled by it.
For the love of fuck, I was like 2 minutes into one, and it was awesome and funny, and I was so proud of it, and then someone called me again about a gig this evening, and it's like, you know that thing where your friends know you're busy or you're on a date or something, and then that's when they decide to call? Jesus Christ.
Excellent. Chef's kiss. This is how you start a romantic message. Ah, for the love of fuck. I was in the middle of something spectacular. You were gonna love it, Kels. You were gonna love it. Trust me. But then one of my fucking asshole friends called me about a gig, because I'm so busy being a successful live musician. Can you believe that, Kels? Can you believe that? It's like those things, you know, where, like, we both go on dates, right? I go on dates, clearly. You go on dates. And sometimes when you're just busy, people call. It's Jesus Christ.
But yeah, no, your bio was just the fucking bee's knees. I mean, listen, top 3 in, like, the hundreds or thousands I've seen. It was just, I don't know. I'm a very good judge of character, and you just seem like my kind of person. And I'm not saying we're star-crossed lovers. I don't know you, and you don't know me.
That's 100% correct. You don't know each other. So why are you doing this? This is not how you get to know someone. This is concerning. Also, you should never admit to seeing hundreds or thousands of dating profile bios. That makes you sound very desperate, that you spend all of your time on these dating apps, perusing it, cruising around, and if you don't match with someone you found attractive or interesting based on their bio, you go out of your way to find them elsewhere to try and talk to them, which is very scary behavior.
I fully accept how strange and unconventional this is. I got a vibe, and I figured I gotta go with it. I was, like, in a really good mood that day. I don't know. I'm totally winging it. But, yeah, a lot of my close friends are women, and everyone, unfortunately, has a couple stories of having to block someone's number, or an ex just won't leave them alone, or going to the cops. Fuck, dude, I've had to block a few numbers of crazy people that didn't know they were crazy. So I really, really apologize sincerely if this in any way, like, triggered that, or it was weird, or whatever. Kelsey, that's the furthest thing from my intention. I just wanted to say howdy, and I figured if I talk like an idiot, you'd probably feel like I did after I looked at your bio.
It's so close. He's teetering on the edge of self-awareness. Him saying all of this out loud should have led to this eureka moment where he was overcome with immense shame, and he just presses the eject button and deletes the voice memo and doesn't continue this conversation. Like, he's clearly pointing out just how weird all of this is. He's even going into all of his friends are women who, you know, have stories about having to block crazy people who didn't know they were crazy. Like, case in point, what you're doing here, but you keep trying to, like, make it seem like it's not weird, even though you do keep acknowledging how weird it is. So, like, you're fighting, like, a battle against yourself in your own messages. You are calling yourself out in front of the person that you're talking to as well. It's really weird.
Oh, okay. It's not fair. You've seen mine, or sorry, I've seen yours and you have not seen mine. If you want, I will screenshot my Bumble bio. I'm quite proud of it. I think it's pretty fucking good. It represents me well. And what else would I want to know if I was you? Gee, I'm like 6 feet tall, pretty damn handsome. I'd give me like a 7. No, like a 7.5 out of 10 looks wise. I mean, to my knowledge, no one has dated me for my abs or my hair. I'm guessing it's because I'm funny and honest and clearly very humble and go to therapy and emotionally intelligent.
It's not a job interview, bro. You don't need to be giving your resume here. Brother, just stop. Please, goodness gracious.
7.5, maybe even an 8. I'm feeling really fucking good lately. I got a tan. I'm up to like 80-second side planks. I hate them, but they're totally worth it for the core. And big feet. So you know what that means, baby doll. Big socks.
You're scaring me. You are scaring me. Why would you do that? What? From way downtown here, he's throwing up a crazy jump shot. He immediately goes into, I've got big feet. You know what that means, baby girl. Oh my lord, please. Have mercy! Have mercy! Why? Why?
What else? I feel like I didn't tell you enough about the bio too. That shrug emoji was just, if nothing else, the fact that like you look like a Disney princess and you use that, I'm like, fuck it, I gotta talk to her. So, oh, I was definitely getting strong Kirsten Bell vibes too, and she's awesome. I don't know if you listen to her husband's podcast, Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard. It's quite the reference, but I have a feeling you might know what that is. One of my favorite episodes, actually, is it Lauren Graham that plays Lorelai? She was on there. Anyway, I am all over the fucking place, as is my job.
You're also all over the place in this one-sided conversation. Now you're shouting out podcasts, talking about fucking shrug emoji again. It's hurting me listening to this. Let this be a lesson to everyone out there watching this. Just don't do anything even remotely like this. Never engage in a one-sided conversation where you have to be the one filling in blanks in a conversation that doesn't really exist.
But I'm sitting here, a middle-aged guy in his car with the AC on and a SpongeBob shirt, and I would call this like the technological version of, you know, when like Noah stops Allie in The Notebook and he's like, I had to talk to you when I see something I want. Yes, I just made a Notebook reference. I don't know. I'm being a total idiot right now. So if nothing else, I figured you'd have a laugh and a smile and you can fucking make fun of me to your friends. I don't know. Now you have a solo podcast for a guy that makes like $6,000 a month on a microphone being an idiot.
He was right. This is something that everyone can laugh about and have a big smile on their face making fun of this whole situation. And then out of nowhere, he drops like his salary from his job, like to flex. He just like slides that in there, which, I mean, it's an interesting strategy yet again. This guy's got a wild book of tricks.
I'm sorry, I don't normally bring up money, but I feel like I created my job out of thin air, and like I just submitted my 2022 taxes, and shit's been getting so much better the last few years, so I'm quite proud of it. That wasn't me trying to impress you, though, with money. I've got way more impressive shit than that. It just slipped out. I hope we could still be friends. Anyway,
Why leave it in there, then? You saying that clearly made you uncomfortable. You could have just deleted this and just tried again. Though I don't think you should have tried again regardless. This shouldn't have happened to begin with. But you yourself just made yourself puke in your mouth when you said your $6,000 a month out loud like that as like a flex, and you still let it ride. You still let this Beyblade rip. Why?
You look like a goddamn Disney princess. The bio completely floored me. I felt like it was written by a friend or something. I just got like strong, like fellow nerd, divergent, super cool, gregarious, happy person vibes. And yeah, so listen, I'm an open book. You probably figured that out like 6 overshares ago. If you have any questions for me, please hit me. Don't be shy. If you want, I'll share my bio. I feel like it's unfair that, you know, I've seen yours and you haven't seen mine. I'm quite proud of my bio.
This entire situation has been nothing but overshares from you. She's not going to ask you any questions. No sane person would. It's not going to happen. This whole thing was a complete catastrophe. And once again, hung up on this fucking bio thing. They're just bios. Most people write them in 10 seconds. I don't know how long he spent, like, finally crafting his, but that is not the norm. I'm sure she didn't spend days coming up with her bio on here. I don't know how it resonated so strongly with this guy, but I bet after this whole song and dance, the woman here immediately just deleted her whole account, or at the very least removed the bio entirely.
Yeah, for the 80th time, I apologize if this was weird or like gave you any bad vibes. That's not my intention. Yeah, I gotta drive home now because I gotta go sing at a bar in Mississauga, and I have 4 more gigs this weekend, and it hurts to talk. So I'm sitting here in my car like a jackass, and yeah, I hope that all made some kind of sense. And if nothing else, please take the sincere compliment. I've seen hundreds of shitty bios, probably thousands, and yours was easily top 3. The only reason I'm not giving you number 1 is because then it would seem like I'm lying. But I'm a very genuine, honest person, and yeah. Actually, on my way home, I'm going to go to the park and feed the ducks. My favorite swan couple, Mr. Plump and Mrs. Plumfett, they just had babies a couple weeks ago. So, like, I'll run up and they recognize me and the babies are squeaking. The hierarchy of, like, waterfowl cute babies, it goes swan babies, then ducklings, and then goslings. But, yes, I may or may not do that 4 to 7 times a week. I'm a huge animal lover. Dogs are better than cats. Cats suck. Sorry if you have cats, but I'm sure your cat is cool.
That was one of the most peculiar lies I've ever heard. You're going to stop at the park on the way home so you can visit your favorite swan couple, Mr. Plumph and Mrs. Plumfette, because they just had babies a couple weeks ago, and they recognize you and get excited and start squeaking when you come by. Like you're part of the family, part of the crew, part of the ship. What universe? What the fuck? That's not even something Dr. Seuss would write as like a little goofy side plot in a story. That is the biggest lie I've ever heard for no reason. For no reason. The quirkiness is overloading. Like, the cup runneth over on quirk. Wow.
And, yeah, take the compliment. Anyway, apologies if this totally intruded on your day, opposite of my intention. And, yeah, your bio was fucking awesome. I mean, there's a couple other assets I noticed too, but I cannot mention them without sounding like a fuckboy, so I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm sure you've worked very hard to be in the shape you're in, but goddamn, lady. God damn, I would not kick you out of bed for eating crackers. So I figured if you are half as funny as you seem to be and half as cool as I got from that bio, I would say howdy. Yeah, all right. Hope this made you laugh and smile, and you have a fantastical day, Kelsey. Cheers.
And that's the grand finale of this whole situation, and what a journey it was. I find this to be probably the best example of the worst approach to romance imaginable. And like I said, this was not an isolated incident. He's done this before. And he's even used the same lines before. Which is it's so wild. It's so wild. I had to talk about it. I had to. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. Hello and welcome back to Weirdos in the Wild. The best way to start your morning is with a big frown on your face, so get ready to wear that with pride. We've got some really interesting specimen here today, so let's go ahead and take a peek at our first one. Our first journey begins with a cold call here like a telemarketer. This guy reaches out saying, "Hey, remember me?" And get used to seeing me spelled that way, because he only speaks about himself as if he's talking through the We Me channel from back in the day. And she responds by saying, "Hey, I think so," from blank, which is middle school. So they knew each other in middle school, and I'm assuming it's been quite some time since then, because then a couple months later he reaches out again saying, "Hey, you have kids yet?" It's already off to an odd start. They're clearly in their adult years here, and this guy's thinking about her from middle school, and then reaches out a couple months after making initial contact just to ask if she has kids currently. And it only gets more strange from here. She responds saying, "Hey, I don't have kids yet, why do you ask?" He goes, "Just asking, you have a boyfriend?" "I do have a boyfriend. Do you have a girlfriend? Can I tell you something?" And that's how you know this is about to go straight into the shitter here. That question, "Can I tell you something?" always seems to precede the most foul thing you'll ever hear in your life. I've read so many of these texts and watched so many bad romance videos recently that this is one of the more concerning questions you could be asked. Can I tell you something? Or some variation of it. I'll also just never understand the purpose of typing something like that. Just fucking spit it out. Say it with your whole chest here. What's the point in acting like some kind of shy anime girl? "Oh, can I tell you something?" Like, what's the response going to be to that? No? You've made it impossible for someone to shoot that down, because then the conversation immediately gets hostile. So everyone has to say, like, "Yeah, I guess you can tell me something." So just do it. Rip the band-aid off. You're going to say something ridiculous anyway. Just say it without asking for permission, because we all know you're just going to fucking blabber about it anyway. She says, "Yeah, what's up?" However, even if she declines saying, "No, you can't tell me anything, leave me alone, bozo," it wouldn't have stopped this maniac. He goes, "No grill frimmed." So I believe he has entered this, like, flow state of horniness, and it's clouding his vision, so he can't type properly. "When we was in middle school, I wanted, period, to do this to you." And accidentally drops, like, a fucking hyperlink here. Do what? Like, "When you were in skirt, I want to make you mine. Hope you don't get mad." What an outrageous creep. "Hey, was just thinking about you in middle school, and how in middle school I wanted to make you mine. Don't get mad at me. Tee-hee." Clearly caught off guard and uncomfortable, she goes, "Oh, it was a long time ago, no reason to get mad." And I think this emboldens him because she says, there's no reason to get mad. So he starts rubbing his hands together. Oh, okay. And then he sends a message that he deletes. He unsends it. So there was something so bad there that even this shameless sack of cringe was like, ooh, no, that's too far. I'm using my mulligan. So he unsends it. But the original poster here, she apparently saw it and said that the message he unsent was saying that he wanted to pull down her panties and put his fingers inside of her. And then he goes, if I were to do this to you, what, you let me? The way he talks is so frustrating. It's so broken and disjointed. It's like communicating with Dobby if Dobby was hitting whippets. Clearly, she declined such a generous offer, saying, no, I have a boyfriend. I mean, back in middle school. I wasn't interested in dating or sexual activity when I was in middle school. I wanted you really bad. Oh, okay. Gets him with the Eeyore really sad. Oh, okay. This is the craziest red flag conversation ever. This should be like a self-report straight to the authorities. This man is like dangerous, it seems. Perhaps that hyperlink he accidentally dropped in the beginning was a link to the sex offenders registry with his name and face on it. This is an adult man who's fantasizing about middle school. He's not even saying like, hey, I used to know you back then and had a crush on you. He is literally fantasizing about her in middle school and him wanting to finger her. That's concerning. And that's when all hell breaks loose. The mask fully comes off, the dam breaks, and he unleashes the demon. She says, I'm a bit confused as to why you're telling me this now, because obviously anyone would be confused getting this shit out of the blue. It's really creepy. And then he goes, 'cause dear. Oh, it's already such an awful fucking start. Dropping dear like this, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. In those days, I want to pull down your panties. Not even a little bit, dear. Or excuse me, not even a little bite, dear. You there, lol? Can I ask you a personal question? When you were in middle school, you there? He is so fixated on middle school in particular. That's the big thing for him here. And he keeps talking about pulling her panties down. It's so unhinged. You there? He keeps checking to make sure there's a pulse here, that she hasn't abandoned him and called the police or something. Can I tell you something that I want to do to you in middle school? Or you mad at me, Lou, lol. If you didn't have a boyfriend, you let me do things to you? You there? Surprisingly, she was still there and hadn't blocked him yet. So she says, no, because I'm not interested, I don't really know you at all. Somehow, she was able to resist his charm. I can't believe Casanova's silver tongue here was powerless against her. He says, I know, lol. Also, it's a bit weird that you're talking about a 12 to 13-year-old me and still being sexual about it. Exactly. It's so fucking weird. And then he just goes, hope you not mad at me for this things. And she says, please don't contact me again. The vibe I get from this guy is Freaky Fred from Courage the Cowardly Dog. Just reading what he keeps saying to her is so unnerving because he's talking about a middle school version of her. He's trying out that sexual predator riz here, I guess, and it did not work at all. I'm gonna bless you with a little bonus one here. Let me show you how not to flirt with someone you're interested in romantically. So it seems like they were talking a little bit before these screenshots were taken. He says, you play video games? Like, other than Candy Crush and Pokemon. And she goes, yep, what gave it away? Cool. Not many chicks that are, like, into real games. This is just your classic flop from a Redditor gamer, bro. Ugh, girls only like Candy Crush or Pokemon, fucking Sims or Barbie Jeep Racing. They don't like real games like me, a fucking man. Call of Duty, Battlefield, BioShock, big rigs over the road racing, Madden 24. But you're different, m'lady. You're not one of those normal chicks that likes those fake games. You can appreciate these gems that I like. Most chicks can't do that. I don't know why. Must be periods and pheromones or something, but you are rare, m'lady. You like real games. Like, I just don't know why anyone would try something like this. It's just immediately confrontational. It makes you look like a whack loser. And everyone knows it too, so she calls that out saying, really? Gonna try that one? Because it's so pathetic. And he goes, what? It was a compliment. And she just says, whatever. And then that really sets him off. So, a guy who you are already desired to be intimate with gives you a compliment, you get bitchy? And then he doesn't get a response, obviously. And then it comes back later saying, are you ignoring me now? She said, you live in a different country than me. But the fact that he immediately just gets this out of control, like, what? It was a compliment. What? Most girls are stupid. Girls go to Jupiter to get more stupider. You didn't go to Jupiter. You stayed here with me, playing real games. Why are you getting so bitchy about it? I was being nice to you. Oh my goodness, nice guys never win. And now you're ignoring me? Oh god. He also just types like a Redditor. Like, his response being, why? A guy who you already desired to be intimate with shows you a little affection and gives you a little compliment and you get bitchy? Like, that is the actual quintessential Redditor response right there. Just go full Poindexter on it. A man who you had already desired to be intimate with gives you a compliment. Then the whole conversation goes cattywampus and he decides to bring out the claws and just get mean. You're a fucking cosplay girl. It's not like it's real work. You get paid to be hot for people. And then she just goes, yeah, it's not going to work. Don't text me back. Goodbye. Totally reasonable response. This guy's just immediately shitting on her for nothing she did wrong. She's done nothing wrong at all. This guy's just a loose cannon. Women like you are always so sensitive. I'm just being honest about things. If you can't handle that, I don't think you intellectually compatible with me. Oh, all the Reddit check marks are being ticked right now. I'm very sorry that you feel like I was being mean or sexist or whatever, but I wasn't. I hope you learn to be less bitchy. Men don't like that in women. And you're already past your good years. And they say chivalry is dead. That's how you do it, gentlemen. Excellent work here, and I have no doubt they're getting married soon. So he blames her for everything that went wrong. He seems to think she was being unreasonable and that he was just being honest, which is crazy. It's so sad how a conversation can go from seemingly normal to just being extremely combative because this guy is very insecure, I guess, about his video game taste or something. I have no idea. But he brings up video games in a hostile manner, saying like, oh, most girls don't play real games, but I guess you're not like most stupid girls. Like, I don't know why he can't see how no one would ever respond positively to that. And when she didn't respond positively to it, he immediately says that she's being bitchy. Just the slightest sign of her not really feeling what you just said there, and he just gets aggressive, and then gets even more mean and rude and nasty, and then still probably walks away from this thinking it was her fault. It's craziness. So he'll probably stay alone for most of his life, but luckily he's got so many great games to play by himself. So there's a silver lining there. At least he's a real gamer with those real games by his side. That's really about it. So yeah. I'm sure you've all heard the expression, fake it till you make it, but today I want to take a look at what happens when all you do is fake it without ever making it. You end up like this loser we're about to take a look at today. A guy who has become a complete parody of self-confidence, but without any level of self-awareness. He portrays himself as an extremely successful, extremely rich guy that would have no problem at all stealing your wife right out from under your nose. It's beautiful stuff that he talks about.
Take you, for example, and me, and we both pull up, and we go to your girl. Odds are, I'm gonna take that bitch. If you compared me to you, you're not gonna win that battle.
Bro's out here rocking that man-dark body type and acting like he, for some reason, be able to take your girl just because he rolled up in a rented McLaren. This guy's entire personality is money. He's like a real-life Mr. Krabs, but with even skinnier arms. So he believes because he has money that he's entitled to women and women find him irresistible. You can tell by looking at him, this was no jock in high school. This wasn't exactly the prom king. Yet he pretends that he is now. He talks about how successful his businesses are now. He has a 9-figure business. He has all of this money. Though I don't necessarily take him at his word, because I just don't believe a fucking word this guy says.
So the next time you think that your girl's on lock, I got the keys to the castle, motherfucker.
I have no doubt he spent hours trying to cook up that finishing line right there. The keys to the castle. Now, why I don't believe him about the success of his business is because the only thing he shows that's worth money is his car. the McLaren. He's made like 1,000 shorts about how much money he spends filling up a McLaren's tank, or how often he drives his McLaren, and that is the only thing worth a lot of money that he's ever shown, at least that I've seen. So that leads me to believe that it is 100% rented, or he really dumped all of his money into that one vehicle in order to portray himself as a successful businessman. He did a little house tour, and it's very humble living. It's a nice place, but it's not exactly like a super mega mansion you would expect someone with a 9-figure business to own. And he's not wearing a ton of ice or anything like that, and he's clearly a guy who loves to flex because he's always talking about his wealth and his success, yet the only thing you can ever see from that is that McLaren. Now this may be like a tinfoil hat conspiracy, but I truly just think he either rents it for these videos, or even more depressingly, drained all of his finances to make that big purchase with that belief that this car would be enough to convince people that he has a lot of money. Like, he specced all of his points into delusion here and is just letting it rip. Like, this McLaren means I'm successful. I gotta fake it till I make it. This is how I do it.
Here's why the gym does not matter. I'm tired of guys that are like, oh, you know, I'm going to the gym, I'm trying to get fit. I feel like I have a pretty decent tone.
Did douchebag Slenderman get you with that jump scare in the beginning? So this is his rant about why going to the gym makes you a fucking idiot. Because he's skinny and insecure. So you going to the gym is offensive to him. It's pretty pathetic. You don't want to go to the gym, that's fine. Buddy's out here built like 2 french fries duct taped to an uncooked spaghetti noodle. And if you're happy with your body there, that's absolutely fine. But why shit on people that are going to the gym? He makes a whole rant about why it's stupid to do it, which is laughable.
I don't need to go to the gym, because you pull up to the gym making less than 10K a month, pulling up in your bullshit fucking Corolla, and I pull up in my McLaren. It's not even a contest, dude. No one gives a fuck about your muscles. Most of the guys that go to the gym, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're fucking stupid. All that pre-workout that you're taking is making you more stupider.
So unless you're making over 10K a month, you don't have the right to go to the gym? Like, he's not even making a point. Like, he's not even saying, like, the time you spend in the gym, you could be spent learning how to drop ship things from Alibaba. Like, he's not even, like, trying to make some kind of point. He's just like, you're stupid for going to the gym because you're making less than 10K a month. He actually sounds like he's about to cry. You're stupid with your dumb muscles, dumb muscle man. Like, what in the crazy insecurity are you going through right now to think that this was a good idea?
Here's why you gotta break up with your girlfriend if you're not making 6 figures a year. Brutal honest truth is that girls need a man who can protect and provide for them. If you're not making at least 10K a month, how the fuck are you gonna protect and provide for your girl?
Man's out here boofing crazy pills. You don't need to be making 10K a month in order to protect your girlfriend. You have absolutely no meat on your bones whatsoever. The only foe you're equipped to handle is if the gingerbread men from Shrek tried to attack your girl, then maybe you could fend them off. But everyone above the age of 18 and weighing more than 100 pounds, it's going to be a tough tussle. And making more than 10K a month doesn't enable you to magically protect her better. If someone's making a ruckus and you're trying to stop whatever's going on, the amount of money you have isn't going to do anything for you. You can't just be like throwing money at it like, get away from her, you scallywag. She's with me and I make more than 10K a month. Here's money. Like throwing it all over the place to get them away. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It's just pure delusion. Now, I guess, like, he's not wrong. If you make more money, you can provide more, I suppose. But what the fuck does that have to do with anything? So if you don't make 100K at least a year, break up with your girl.
It's cool that she's sticking with you right now because you're trying to build yourself. But at the same time, if some guy like me comes up and gets in the way, she's going to choose me over you because I can provide more. In this feast or famine world, women will always pick the best case scenario because they don't want to get hurt. And you being broke as fuck definitely hurts.
What hurts more than being broke is being broke but pretending you're not, like this guy. It's so... I don't know if he actually believes the shit he's selling or if it's only to try and get people to, like, sign up to courses or anything like that. I'm really not sure if he actually, like, loves the smell of his own farts or if it all is an act. I couldn't tell you. Either way, it's to further the goal of making money off the back of desperate people who see this and think that this guy is actually super successful and is trying to give them the secrets to success. It's all just another guru scam, but... I find him particularly entertaining because he's doing the bare minimum. He didn't even bother to invest in his own body to look the part, so he's not in good shape. He didn't bother to even really pretend to have a lot of money aside from that McLaren that he shows from time to time. And he's just saying things that other gurus say. And I don't know if he's actually found real success. I know he has quite a bit of botted engagement that I've seen online, at least as of everything I've been able to research from it. But other than that, I don't know if anyone even believes his act. I would be surprised if they did because he's very bad at it. Also, just to explain why there's driving underneath his video, it's because it's a TikTok thing where everyone needs perpetual stimulation, constant jingling keys, so for any video where it's talking, they play like Subway Surfers or anything engaging a game underneath to keep viewers' attention. It's pathetic. TikTok has absolutely rotted brains where people need like absolute activity at every single moment. They can't just listen to talking on there.
So if you always wondered what dating an entrepreneur looks like, this is what the fuck it looks like. I don't cook, I don't clean, I got whiteboards all over the place. My setup's there, this is like my sanctuary. No one fucks with me here. As far as a fridge, it's pretty fucking awful. So I got beer, Happy Dads, Gatorade, oh dude, Bel Air bottle, champagne. I got these Dunkin' Donut iced coffees, and then for dinner I'll go to the pier and like have dinner. I will never fucking cook. This will never be used. I don't even know why I have a fucking mitt.
And here's the look at the house I mentioned. It's clearly a cozy spot. It's a nice house. It's not a super elaborate house. This is not a mega mansion or anything like that. So if he's a super successful 9-figure guy who loves to flex everything, why would he be living in a house like this? It doesn't make any sense. That doesn't really track. I also love the whole whiteboard thing. He probably watched one video on like, it's important to write down your goals or whatever as an entrepreneur. So he bought like 9 whiteboards and hung them all up and filled them with gibberish nonsense. I tried zooming in on the frame where it focuses on a whiteboard, but I couldn't make it out because his handwriting looks like he wrote it while he was getting hit by an earthquake. So it's completely illegible for the most part. But I'm pretty sure one of them was agility. And he had a check mark next to it, meaning he must have done like agility drills, I suppose. I could be reading it incorrectly, but I'm almost positive it said just agility on one of them. Maybe it's like RuneScape goals and he's like skilling right now, so he's working on agility and he checked it off once he got like a certain amount of XP. I don't know. Very goofy regardless though.
Here's just a couple of signs that your girlfriend might be cheating. Number one is she's not texting you as readily as you've used to.
Easiest way to tell if your girl is cheating is, did she ever find that you bought this guy's course? If she did, she's absolutely cheating. No doubt. And you deserve it. Why the fuck would you buy a course from a guy like this? It's so embarrassing. Like he actually just went to like WikiHow and just started copying articles on like how to tell if your girl is cheating, 7 life hacks for that, and then he just starts regurgitating them here. But anyway, I could go on and on. There's so many embarrassing shorts he's made, but there's no reason to just keep going over it. I just wanted to showcase some of his better ones here and talk about it a little bit. That's about it. So yeah. TikTok's such a weird place. I'm sure most of you have seen the trend that's existed since the inception of the platform where thirsty teenagers make those videos like, I would be a bad boyfriend because I'd love you too much, or you shouldn't date me because I just love you too much. You'd be suffocated with my overwhelming love. You know, shit like that. It's super weird. It's like romance to them is like it is in anime. It's just super fucking goofy. But today someone sent me a link to a guy, an Adonis, really, and I took one look at this man and I said, yeah, this guy fucks. And then it turns out he doesn't. A lot of his videos are just about relationships and why he's not in one, and why he would be a shitty boyfriend. And it's the cliche thing I mentioned where he's like, I'm too much of a lover. My love is too powerful for mere mortals to understand and tolerate. I would literally murder someone with love. I would fuck their butthole with love, and you're not ready for it. Thus, I have to be single.
Everybody wants to know why I'm single, and these are some reasons why. If I was your boyfriend, I would be very overprotective. Like, no one's talking to you but me. I would want to hang out all the time. Like, I want to be with you. I would FaceTime you and text you constantly, and then you would probably end up getting annoyed.
Bro, I'm not even dating you and I'm ready to break up. He's just actually listing off red flags and giving legitimate reasons why he would fucking suck to be in a relationship with. It's supposed to be one of those cutesy videos where girls are supposed to have their heart melt like, aw, he's single because he's so caring. But his just comes across as, wow, I can totally see why he's single with this kind of shit. It almost just sounds like threats like, hey, if we're dating, you're not talking to anyone but me. Your parents? Nope, we're cutting them out. Your imaginary friend? I'm gonna go in there and fucking murder him. You are only gonna communicate with me. Thus, I have to lock you in the basement to make sure that you don't betray me and talk to somebody that's not me.
I want everyone to know. Like, I want all my friends, all your friends, my family, your family. I want everyone to know that we're together. So those are some reasons why I'm single.
You know, to be honest, I actually can't believe that he's single. These aren't the worst qualities in the world. Yeah, you know, maybe it's a bit clingy, but it could be worse. He could be addicted to ketamine. Maybe he is, but he didn't mention it here. And if this is all that's wrong with him here, hey, maybe it's worth the chance.
A message for all ladies. All right, ladies, listen. Any guy you date should see you as a priority, not an afterthought. If a guy can only text you how he feels, he doesn't feel anything. If a guy's not willing to show you off, you can show him the door. If all they want to do is play Fortnite, you tell them good night.
Actually, pretty good advice here, I have to admit. If your man just wants to play Fortnite, you just tell him night-night, and then you go and turn yourself into the police because you were dating a child, you sick fuck. I'm wet. Panties are sodden. God damn it, he's the perfect man. Jesus Christ. You'll notice that there's like a striking similarity between the things that would make him a good boyfriend and the things that also make him a bad boyfriend. It's basically just the same thing. He's obsessive. Like, he will literally always be there. Like the boogeyman under your bed, making sure that you're sleeping soundly. If you date me, I'm slapping that fucking phone out of your hand, trying to talk to somebody that's not me, you naughty harpy. The fuck do you think you're doing? I'm always there to hype you up. You want to do something? You do it and I'll be there to cheer you on. As long as it's just me there, cheering you on.
Reasons why I'm a bad boyfriend. I always want kisses and hugs. Like, even if it's random, no matter what time, I always want them. I always want to give you anything and everything. Like, even if I don't have it, I just want to give it to you. I don't want you to pay for anything. Even if I don't have enough money, I want to spoil you. Dinners, movie, anything, I want to pay for it. I won't let you. I want to show you off. I'm gonna post about you. Even if you don't want me to do it, I can't help it. I want to show you off, baby. I will always put you before me. Even if you're having a great day and I'm not, I will just hype your day up and I won't tell you about how bad my day was. But those are some reasons why I'm a bad boyfriend.
Oh my god, it's so dreamy. You don't want me to post about you? That's too fucking bad. I'm putting your nudes on Twitter because I'm so proud of you, baby. You got a great body. Those ass cheeks and the way that they can clap. Oh my god. The world needs to know. I'm going to show you off, baby. I feel bad singling this guy out because, like I said, it's so common. So many people on TikTok do this exact same shit. Like, I'm such a bad boy. I would take you to a drive-thru and I wouldn't let you pay for your meal because I'm bad. I'd be a bad boyfriend. But the reason I chose him is because he has whole compilations dedicated to these videos because he's done so many of them. And it just made it easy to have like a nice cum dumpster full of these bad versus good boyfriend things. So anyway, I just wanted to briefly touch on this because I think it's super weird. I know it's not like uncommon for people to be like, I'm actually super shitty at being in relationships because I'm just too goddamn nice. Nice guys don't win, am I right, girls? Yeah, I see a lot of that shit, and then this is kind of the same thing. Like, I'm a bad boyfriend because I just want to love a girl, and girls don't want to be loved. They want an asshole douchebag, so I'd be a bad boyfriend. I see it all over the place, and this guy, he's just done it so many times, I figured it'd be a good example to talk about the trend and go into detail on it. Yeah, so that's really about it. So yeah. How far would you go for some updoots on the internet? How badly do you want to suckle from that juicy teat of internet clout? I've actually started quite a few videos with that exact same question. It seems that today the most important thing to people is the numbers on the screen. Bigger number, better person. Everyone's so desperate to squeeze as much milk as possible from those beautiful honkers of internet points. And no price is too high. We've seen some wacky, goofy shit recently for those internet points. You remember those dudes that went to jail for 3 years on TikTok because they were filming a stop the train prank where they just sit on the train tracks and hope the train stops in time before they get brutally fucking blasted by it? And then it actually did stop and then they went to jail. We also recently saw that kid play the fake robbery prank on some strangers and he got shot and died for it. His last words were quite literally, "just a prank, bro." At least according to a few sources, that was an extremely sad one. So we've seen some crazy shit. People really will do anything for some internet fame. And today I want to talk about a pretty special case. It's someone that I'm sure you've heard of. I've talked about him before A lot of people have. He's been a big name on YouTube for a while. His name's Nikocado Avocado. If you're on Twitter, you've probably seen his asshole floating around pretty often. For some reason, it was a big trend in meme to just post Nikocado Avocado's OnlyFans content all over Twitter. So I've seen his butthole more times than I've seen him doing his mukbangs. For those that don't know, Nikocado Avocado is a mukbang YouTuber. It's primarily what he does. Mukbangs are when you just eat on camera, and that's about it. I'm not really here to get into the lore of Nikocado Avocado. There's a ton of videos that do dive into it. I want to talk about what's going on recently with him. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and take my swampy ass out of here for a second and let Nikocado Avocado kind of take it away. This is from his most recent video. This is kind of what his content has become.
I wouldn't have become disabled if it weren't for you people who encouraged these videos. This is the $6, this is the $10. Ouch! My ribs! How many months are we gonna have to endure this pain? Alright, let's go for this. Ooh. This definitely looks cheesier. This one. And I'm allergic to this one too. Oh. But sometimes in life you just want what you can't have. I'm not allowed to have garlic. Or lots of onions. Or durian.
Now, to anyone that's familiar with this creator, you'll probably think that this is nothing special. This just looks like every other video he's ever made, just with less crying. You've probably even seen Nikocado Avocado around other parts of the internet. If you don't even know who he is, you've probably seen some of his clips. He usually will eat something and then just start breaking down into tears and crying about something. He's notorious for constantly crying. So then why did I decide this video and these clips to show you? Well, as you can tell from the title of that video, he now claims to be a disabled person, which I'll get into in a minute, but I want to focus on what he said at the beginning, outside of making some of the most revolting noises I've heard in quite some time while undergoing some kind of exorcism. He said, "It's your fault for encouraging these videos." Now, he says shit like this pretty often, and it shows me that there's still some self-awareness deep within him somewhere, locked deep away. But that rational side of him he keeps buried, locked in a cage, and still does this content, even knowing better, even knowing that it's a complete detriment to his overall health and well-being. He continues to do it while still having that small glimmer of self-awareness. He says it's your fault for encouraging it, and he's absolutely right. Nikocado Avocado didn't start as this kind of channel. Even 4 years ago, 2017, so 4 years ago now, he was a very healthy person. He seemed to be pretty mentally, sound. He wasn't breaking down on camera all the time and going wild and crazy from what I remember. He was even extremely good at an instrument. I think it was the violin, if I remember correctly. He was a vegan. He was just preaching some really positive stuff. But then he started to notice that the videos that gained a lot of traction were videos where he was just fucking gluttonous and eating 1,000,000 calories per sitting. So he stuck with it. And now he has a couple of channels where he does this pretty much every day, and it's been like this for the last 4 or so years. This is what he used to look like in 2017, and then when the videos really started to gain traction, he gained over 200 pounds in the last couple of years. And it's absolutely true. It's the audience's fault for this. They created what Nikocado Avocado has become. Obviously, it's not all their fault. He is making the conscious decisions to completely throw away his health and well-being, which has now led to his disability, which he claims to have. Again, Nikocado Avocado is not the most reliable narrator. He makes a lot of shit up sometimes. So whether or not he actually now has a disability, it's anyone's guess. He claims to have 3 broken ribs, which is attributed to his incredible weight gain. Incredible being the wrong word, really just astonishingly upsetting weight gain that he's been putting on recently. He claims that the weight of his body has now broken a few of his ribs, which now has him bedridden. I think he also claimed to now have to have a full-time nurse in order for him to just engage in day-to-day activities. And he also has been diagnosed with sleep apnea, I believe, which is why you'll see on his most recent thumbnails, he has like that machine hooked up to his nose that makes him look like some kind of like cyborg from the future or something. It seems to really be going downhill quickly for him. People have been saying for the last couple of years that Nikocado Avocado is literally killing himself for YouTube views, and it's absolutely true. He is slowly killing himself and documenting the journey the entire time while having an understanding of exactly what he's doing. He's well aware that he is throwing away his health, his well-being, his happiness, for the sake of some YouTube views because his audience continues to eat it up, much like he eats up a million fucking cheeseburgers every couple of days. For almost the last 4 years, almost every day, he has done mukbangs like this, where he's eating 6 pizzas, 8 pizzas. He'll get like fucking McDonald's and he'll order everything off the menu and then ask if they can just tilt the grill over to get a little extra grease in a cup for him to drink on camera. It has been an extremely sad thing to see. He's also been saying for a little while now that he's going to be losing some weight. His weight loss journey has begun, but what ends up happening is for every pound he loses, he gains 10 more. I didn't play much of the video here, but he even mentioned that. He even goes on to say after the "your fault" speech that he started his weight loss and he lost a pound but then gained 3 more because he wanted to please his audience with more videos or something like that. So it's just truly a pretty awful thing to see. As you probably noticed from the screenshot, the last 6 days he's posted a video each day talking about his disability and his new diet with it, and each one he has tons and tons of food from different places, and it's not clickbait. He really eats all of that food. Very rarely does he not finish his plate. He usually finishes it or gets very close to it. Almost nothing goes to waste. It goes right into Nikocado Avocado's guts. And one thing you may have also noticed from that screenshot is his views are high, which is exactly why he does it. Yeah, most of them have more dislikes than likes, but even on the one I showed you, that's still like 4,000 likes, so there are 4,000 people dropping a fat like, leaving an encouraging comment, and he's usually peddling some merch, so the shirts you see him wear, he immediately pins in a comment for you to buy them, and I imagine he sells quite a few shirts. Even the people that get in there just to dislike or just tune in to watch the train wreck, that's more views for him, that's more engagement, that helps him, and that keeps him on this wagon, keeps him going. So overall, it's just a really shitty cycle. And I tune in occasionally just to see if Nikocado Avocado is making any strides in helping himself, because it seems like he really wants to sometimes, and then he goes right back into going to Chick-fil-A to literally eat fucking food off the floor like David Hasselhoff. Like, it's just really sad. Obviously, I'm exaggerating. He doesn't usually visit the restaurants. He just orders it and then eats it from either his bed or his own like table that he sets up for it. When he is out in public, though, he's usually on one of the mobility scooters, and he gets a little crazy out there, because a lot of what his content has become is him making really gross noises and shaking his head around while trying his best to like shake his whole body around to really let you know that he's gained a lot of weight, which I don't know, man. The whole thing is just weird and just sad, and that's all I wanted to talk about. This is just another one of those things where it's like, man, the links people go to for some internet fame, like, it's just upsetting to see. So, I mean, yeah, that's really about it. So, yeah. Nikocado Avocado has set a new world record for YouTuber response time for drama. This was a pretty impressive speed run. Within a few hours of my video being up, he had his entire response filmed and then posted this morning. So, very impressive speed there. And there's a few things I want to talk about, so let's just go ahead and dive in. First of all, it's entirely in character. It's kind of like in the Suicide Squad movie where Jared Leto was constantly being the Joker, even off-set, so he was sending his co-stars like used condoms and dead pig carcasses. That's kind of what Nikocado Avocado has done. He is constantly playing his character. He has become the Joker of mukbangs. He is never out of character anymore, it seems. So this response is not him being genuine or taking it seriously. It's him playing his character and completely misunderstanding what I was saying in my video. He spends the majority of the 41 minutes of this response video eating, because he does a mukbang during it, and asking, who is this? Who are you? Does anyone know this person? If I had $1 for every time he asked, who is this, I would have enough money to afford 1,500 pizzas and do my own fucking nutty mukbang. I never really understood that perspective of, this person's not famous enough for me to care, therefore everything they say is worthless. He makes it sound like because he doesn't know who I am, everything I've said is completely irrelevant. And it's fine that he doesn't know anything about me. I expect that. I'm a fucking YouTuber. I'm an actual Z-lister, an internet content creator. I don't expect to go into a room and all of a sudden everything goes quiet as people drop champagne glasses that shatter on the floor because they're just blown away by my presence, like, oh my god, do you know who that is? That's Charles White. Did you see his newest video where he was holding a rubber penis and throwing around a fleshlight? Holy shit, that's Charles White. I don't expect that. So I just don't really get why that's like one of the main things he keeps reiterating in this video is he doesn't know who I am. I don't know why that's such a strong point. Like, I don't know who this is. Do you know who this is? This guy's just so fucking, not famous. Gross. Not famous guy. Who is this? But anyway, aside from him constantly mentioning that, there are some things that he does bring up that I think are definitely worth talking about. But first of all, I'd like to say congratulations to Nick. It looks like his broken ribs are healing pretty well because he starts this video by stomping into the room. And I also checked his TikTok. He's been going kind of hard, so it looks like his broken ribs seem to be doing better now.
Fiddlesticks! Who is this?
I remember when my mom broke a couple of her ribs, she genuinely couldn't walk for like a month. She was miserable. But luckily, Nick seems to be healing at an accelerated rate. He must be like Wolverine from the X-Men, so that's good to see. In regards to his broken ribs, in his response video, he said I was completely lying and that his broken ribs had nothing to do with weight gain, which surprised me because I actually got that information from one of his recent videos. I'll just go ahead and play you the clip.
And before you make fun of me, please try to put yourself in my shoes. I cracked my ribs. Bitch! Fuck this fucking air sack from coughing excessively for over 2.5 months and my obesity, all 350 pounds of force. Ouch!
I didn't reach into my butthole and pull this out of nowhere. I got the information from him, so I don't understand why in his response video he makes it sound like I'm lying about so many things. Like he himself said his cracked ribs were the result of coughing for the last 2 months and his obesity, 350 pounds of pressure or whatever he said there. I didn't make that claim. I didn't make that up. It came from him, and you can just click on this video and it's right in the intro. So I don't know why he would say something like that in the response video. It also doesn't really sit right to me that in this response video he puts multiple advertisements for like going to his Patreon and stuff like that. It just shows that he doesn't really take any of it seriously. It feels like this response was just made to capitalize off drama clicks. Like, I just feel like he's never serious anymore. It's always in this act, in this character. I might as well plug something too, since I'm responding to it. Make sure you check out my second channel, Huge Charles, where I'm posting short content and exclusive shit over there. The link will be in the description below. That's Huge Charles, baby. But anyway, now to actually talk about the things Nick brings up that I think are very important to talk about. First of all, he talks about the people that went from my video to his to just be assholes. I always openly condemn this, and I should have again said don't go harass him, because it looks like people need a constant fucking reminder to not fucking harass people. You're not some kind of internet vigilante fighting for justice. That angry comment you left on Nick's video isn't going to help him. You're just being a fucking douchebag. And I completely sincerely apologize for overlooking the fact that I need to remind people how to behave online. I always absolutely fucking hate. I've made 2 different videos on how much I hate when people go and harass people, but just from like YouTube videos and shit. It sucks. It fucking sucks. 100%. And Nick is absolutely in the right in calling that out. Now, with all of that out of the way, let's actually get into the fucking meat here and talk about some of the things Nick brings up. It's clear immediately that Nick misunderstood what I was saying in my video. I don't know if that's on purpose just for the sake of having like an aggressive response video for YouTube drama, or if he genuinely didn't understand what I was trying to say, but he makes it clear that he didn't get what I was going for right away.
I don't have the right to exist because I happen to be a little overweight. I'm being attacked for my weight, for my appearance. Apparently, I'm encouraging people to eat unwell. Excuse me.
I don't even understand at all where that last thing came from. I never made any point like that or even hinted at anything like that. I never said like Nikocado Avocado is a role model and he's encouraging people to eat like he does on camera. You know, I never said like, you know, these kids are going to watch Nikocado Avocado and then all of a sudden they're going to be fucking brainwashed by him. They're going to go out there and order 10 large fries and then a gravy to drink out of a toilet bowl. I never said anything like that. I never said that he's setting some kind of example for people to follow. All I was saying is the success he found with mukbangs has reinforced his decision to eat this way. I was also never focusing on his appearance or saying he doesn't have the right to live because he's overweight. I don't know where these are coming from. As far as appearance goes, me showing his 2017 body compared to his most recent one was used to show what the food is doing to him. If he was skinny and eating the way he does on camera, I would have the exact same criticisms. Because even when you're skinny, you can be very unhealthy, which is a point he makes. I wasn't saying skinny is the gold standard. He also brings up some demons from his past that I didn't know about. I didn't get the full extended lore of Nikocado Avocado. I was under the assumption that he was healthier back then because, contrary to what he says in the video, I am very familiar with him. I've watched his content for a while. I've watched the transformation, but apparently I've missed some arcs along the way in his anime. He mentioned back during those days with the photos I showed he had an eating disorder, even mentioned a tooth rotting out, and that he generally didn't feel like he was healthy back then. And I didn't know any of those things. What I saw on camera was him eating healthy food, preaching about healthy food options and lifestyles, as well as fitness and stuff like that. So I was under the impression that he was healthy during those days, but maybe he wasn't. But he's also not healthy now. I'm not Nick's dad. I'm not here to slap the fucking cheeseburgers out of his hand or anything. I showed these photos because it shows a complete transformation from one body type to another, and it shows that there is still an eating disorder present. And I feel like it's reinforced by his audience on YouTube that encourage it, which is something he mentions in his videos from time to time. He says things like, you guys are doing this, and I think he's right. I think seeing those numbers grow and seeing those big numbers has completely reinforced the idea that in order to be successful, he has to keep eating this way, so he feels trapped to do it. That's the point I was making. It is a very unhealthy lifestyle. It doesn't have to do with his weight or his appearance. It has to do with what he's eating on camera and how often he's doing it. Take, for example, Matt Stoney. Matt Stoney will do these incredible food challenges. He'll eat fucking 20,000, 30, 40,000 calorie meals in a single sitting in under an hour for a YouTube video, and they're fucking awesome. That's nuts to butts action. Matt Stoney eating the fuck out of 20 burritos at a time, double fisting 1,000 tacos per hand. It's incredible stuff. And it's so much food and so many calories, but Matt Stoney does that once every few weeks, once a month maybe. Nikocado Avocado is doing something comparable almost every single day. Over the last week or so, he's posted a mukbang every single day pretty much. So he's eating these thousands and thousands of calories every day. It's very different. The frequency is completely different. Or let me rephrase this. It seems like he does it almost every day since he is posting them almost every day. Now, I do know, at least on a few occasions, he's done multiple mukbangs in one day. And that's still a lot. That's still a ton. So the point is, it's very different. I'm not targeting Nikocado Avocado because of his weight or anything. I was talking about him in this whole situation because it feels like his audience has reinforced his eating disorder, which is taking a negative effect on his overall health. If Nikocado Avocado did not find success on YouTube and be known for eating such massive meals, he would not have gained the 200 pounds in 3 or so years. Gaining that much weight in that amount of time is not healthy by anyone's standards, no matter what doctor or what website you check. It is extremely rapid weight gain, and I don't think it would have happened had he not found success with this kind of mukbanging content on YouTube. He would probably not eat like this. And like I said, if he was skinny and still doing this exact content the exact same way, my criticisms would remain exactly the same. It is an unhealthy diet and an unhealthy lifestyle, as evident by the 200 pounds he gained, which is a lot in a short amount of time, and also the amount of times that he is crying on camera and breaking down. It seems like overall, this content has led him down a path where he is unhealthy and unhappy. My focus wasn't, look at Nick and all of this weight he gained, ewy. It was, how has Nick completely transformed over the last 4 years, and what role did his content play in that transformation? He is completely different now mentally and physically than he was 4 years ago. Nowadays, he's known for crying all the time on camera while eating. It's become one of his big things, like a staple in his content. He is constantly breaking down and crying while eating, which seems like he's much more unhappy now. And physically, he's completely different. He requires a mobility scooter now when he goes out in public. You'll see it in his TikToks, you'll see it in his videos. When he is at a store, he requires a mobility scooter. So what I was looking at in my video was how his content and his YouTube success played a role in this transformation.
Making some of the most revolting noises I've heard in quite some time while undergoing some kind of exorcism.
And me. Who are you? I haven't said anything that you're revolting and you're disgusting.
Yeah, I didn't say that about you either, Nick. I was talking about that shtick you do in your videos where you make a yucky noise. That's what I was talking about. And I think you know that, but you tried to use that as a way to spin it like I was calling you revolting and disgusting for your weight or something like that, which I absolutely wasn't. I was talking about that ongoing joke you have where you make noises and faces like that. I was just saying I find that to be off-putting. He calls them a hairball, which is obviously him kidding around, and I just called it gross because I don't really like those noises. And I'm sure he knows what I was talking about here, but just found it to be easy ammunition to make me look really shitty. So he was able to spin it like, look, he's calling me revolting and gross, he's being a big asshole, which I wasn't. I was just talking about that hairball thing that he does. This video is going to be really long if I keep going through every point he makes, to be honest. We're not even like half of the way through the response, so I just want to focus on the next few big things that he brings up that I think are very important to talk about. He says that I am incorrect about, like, the nurse, like the full-time nurse to take care of him, and that's entirely possible. I've tried to keep up with his videos recently to make sure I get the full story, but for me it is very hard to sit through a full mukbang from him because it's just sad to see. I'll just be straight up honest. It's hard for me to watch all of them, so sometimes I'll go to Twitter to read threads about Nikocado Avocado to be kept up to date, and I recalled reading about a nurse that had to be on standby in order to make sure that he was able to go about his activities. This, he has said, is incorrect, so I do apologize for that. That information that I got there was wrong. 100%, and I'll take full responsibility for being incorrect on that point. Now, one thing he is blatantly wrong about, and I don't know if this is on purpose to make me look bad or something, he keeps saying that I call his viewers fat, or I am constantly talking about him being fat and gross. Two things I've never said anywhere in that video. I never said his viewers are fat or insulting his viewers. I was saying his viewers are enabling him to keep doing some of this content. And that, I stand by 100%. You can even see it on this response video. There were so many comments saying, don't listen to him, and when are you doing your next big mukbang? I love to watch you eat this and that and that. Like, that's enabling. That's the very definition of enabling. It's enabling a bad habit. And it keeps you doing these same things which have had a negative effect on your health. But that's not me all of a sudden saying all your viewers are fat pigs that are gross and yucky, ooh, cooties, yucky, gross pigs in your comments. I never said anything like that. And I don't know why he tries to hint like that. And I don't know if it's on purpose or by accident. I think it's supposed to like make his viewers mad at me, like, can you believe what this guy is saying about us? Which I never did. What I was saying about your audience is that they keep you doing these unhealthy things, which they absolutely are. I wasn't calling you gross. I never said any of that. I said that they are keeping you doing this unhealthy kind of content, which you've done for a few years now, which has negatively affected your health. And I'll say it again, because that was the point of the video, and that was the point I was making. It's not all your audience's fault. You are making the conscious decision to continue this content and really focus on those numbers, but they do obviously play a role in it. The next thing he talks about is this machine that he's had in every thumbnail for like the last 2 weeks. He says he's actually had this since he was a kid, and it's nothing new, unrelated to mukbangs and all that. Okay, fair enough. Let's say that's true. Maybe it is. It probably is. I don't see why he'd lie about it. But then why all of a sudden now are you putting it so prominently in every thumbnail and every title talking about being disabled and doing a disabled mukbang? Why are you just now showing this off then? It leads your viewers to believe that the situation's a lot more dire than it is, and you're doing it on purpose. You're trying to garner more sympathy out of the situation by having this machine here. It makes it seem like your health is on a really rapid decline. And I think the reason you're doing that is to get more views on it, because when people see that you're in distress, they want to see what's going on and want to make sure everything's okay. So if you truly have had this machine for that long, why are you all of a sudden now showing it off like this in the context of being disabled? So it's pretty fucked up. And I don't want this video to keep dragging on, so the last thing I'll talk about is the broken ribs thing, the subject of like his disabled mukbangs. As I mentioned, he's been kind of jumping around just fine. In this video, he comes stomping in, jumping around just fine. He's not coughing at all in this video, which he's coughed in all the other ones, and then like cried out in pain, like yelling about how much pain he's in. On TikTok, he's doing just fine, moving around, jumping, stomping. Either way, that whole situation seems to be all honky-dory now, so that's great. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about this. I feel like he completely missed the point of what I was saying with my video. I wasn't trying to call him all kinds of disgusting names or anything like that. I don't even know where he would have gotten that from. Maybe just a complete misunderstanding. I'm not sure, but either way, I still find the entire situation sad. His response didn't change my perspective on everything going on over there. I still think it is all a very sad situation. I feel like if Nikocado Avocado was not a successful YouTuber, he would not be doing these kind of mukbangs or eating this way. I feel like that's only there because of the success he's found with these videos, and his response did not change my perspective on that. It didn't change my opinion on it, and yeah, that's about it. So yeah. Yesterday, a beloved YouTube group made an announcement, and it did not go over well. They ended up getting dunked on more than a Fisher-Price basketball hoop. It is the YouTube channel Watcher, as they announced their subscription-based paywalled content strategy going forward. It is really interesting. So, for those that don't know, this is a very popular YouTube group called Watcher. They make very well produced content. I was unfamiliar with this channel until today with this news, but I was familiar with their work previously, like before they were Watcher. But they've been crushing it, clearly. Almost 3 million subs, every video getting like 1 million views pretty much. It's all very high quality content. So then today, they posted this video, Goodbye YouTube. And it's like a really heartfelt video about what YouTube means to them, and it's very dramatic. You know, it's saying things like, if this is my last time on YouTube, what a fucking ride it's been. It's like the end to a 1990s action movie. YouTube, you son of a bitch, we had a good ride. That kind of thing, as they sail off into the sunset. But what they're actually doing is they're moving to their own subscription-based website. So, the strategy is, they're going to be releasing a couple of episodes still on YouTube, but the rest of that season will be exclusively behind paywalled content at watchertv.com. The video is getting absolutely bombarded with dislikes, and a lot of people have soured their impression of this group, regardless of what they decide to do going forward, even if they do backtrack this decision. It's a maneuver that just did not land. They went for a kickflip and ended up breaking both their ankles on this bad boy here, and it's pretty simple to understand why. It's the whole concept of the content you were getting for free is now no longer going to be free. That just always leaves the taste of shit in people's mouths. It's the worst flavor. No one likes a poop pop. So, understandably, a lot of people were voicing their concerns and their disappointment with this. Honestly, Watcher probably would have found more success if they made an announcement stating that one of the members had hit a deer on their way into work, and they had no remorse or something. Like, this hasn't been really a home run for them here. They said they made the service $5.99 because everyone and anyone can afford it. When did they see that? Well, I must have missed that statement. Was it in this video somewhere and I just am forgetting it? Because that is a crazy thing to say.
First. Steven, talk about money. Yeah, what's this price?
You can become a member of Watcher for $5.99 a month or $59.99 a year.
We want to keep the price low enough where anybody and everybody is able to afford it, but it also has to support the things that we do here. So that was the number that just made the most sense for the streamer.
That's very out of touch. I don't know how I missed that. I don't know how that flew under my radar. That is extraordinarily out of touch. That face right there says it all. Yep, that one just got ripped. Fuck it, we'll do it live, I guess. That's going in the final cut. Are we sure? Eek. Let me lay down the reality here. $6 isn't nothing. Especially not in the current climate of things where everyone and their grandmother is making a subscription service for every single fucking thing on the planet. We're in the gold rush right now where every company is turning their content into a subscription-based monthly payment to access it. And I mean everything. If you want like a bag of beans delivered to you, you probably have to subscribe to the bag of bean delivery stork service for $5.99 a month. So this is yet another subscription charge they're trying to peddle here for previously free YouTube videos. That's just not worth it for the majority of people and just adds another headache, an unnecessary subscription charge that I can't imagine many people being enthusiastic about paying for. Now, to be clear, they're not like removing their YouTube content that's already up. It's just going forward, they're only going to be releasing like the premiere of a season on their channel, and then the rest of that season is paywalled. Now, personally, I think it is a horrible idea. Going through their channel, their videos are long-form content for the most part, like 30 minutes plus. And I imagine with their history working at BuzzFeed for BuzzFeed Unsolved, they've learned how to optimize mid-roll ads. So they're probably pulling in a very high RPM on those videos. I have to imagine that is already covering the cost of production. But on top of that, and I didn't know this until stream last night, they also have a very successful Patreon with over 12,000 members and 3 different monthly payment tiers. And just for the cherry on top of this money cake, Mr. Krabs style, they have a ton of merch, obviously, but the biggest thing is they do a ton of brand deals. From what I can see, they run a lot of ads in their content. And many of you might not remember this, I actually own a company that specializes in putting brands with YouTubers and running ads for major YouTube channels. It's called Mana Talent Group. And I started that back in 2018, so I know what these deals look like. So I'm going to break the magician's code here and give you a little spitball estimate on what I think they're making per ad. With a channel of their size and their views and this style of content, I would wager a guess that each brand that appears in their content is paying between $15,000 and $35,000 a piece to be there. Now, I know it's kind of a wide ballpark. It's just hard for me to guesstimate from the sidelines what their deals might look like, because longer-term partnerships usually have discounts per slot because they've done a long-term deal, whereas like one-offs or short-term partners are paying more for like the couple of ads they're there for. But I'm confident that none of their brand partners are paying less than $15,000 to be on their content, and I'm pretty confident that it's probably going up to about $35K for their more one-offs or short-term deals. So they're already making tons of money through their content. You were right. They just don't really advertise it? So they already have this, and now they have Watcher TV, which is another subscription service, which I imagine is going to run congruent. Or if you pay $5 here, do you also get Watcher TV access? I don't know. Is it somewhere in the perks? That is a lot of doubloons they are pulling in right now. They got 12,000 members on that Patreon, and some of those tiers, that's a lot of bones. You're not really in a financially struggling situation with this channel. I'm just going to lay down the brass tacks here. I saw a few people defending them, saying like, no, they have 25 employees, they need to get their bread because it's very expensive. I'm going to peel back the curtain here real quick. I have more than 25 employees, considering I also have an esports organization, which has a lot of players on it. And I'm going to tell you, since they're professional gamers, their salary is going to be significantly higher than their employees' cost. And I'm able to finance all of that completely fine through streaming. And my streaming numbers are nowhere near as lucrative as their Patreon numbers. It's not even close. Theirs blows me out of the water. And I'm not exactly struggling with all of those employees for our esports org. To really drive this point home, one of our star players was $10,000 a month. One. And we have well north of 25 in total. And I was still able to do all of that through a fraction of their numbers here with what they're making on Patreon. And I have like a fourth of their RPM. My RPM on YouTube is about 3, and I'm confident that the Watcher channel is probably seeing north of 8 to 9 RPM on their videos. And still, I wasn't exactly struggling to cover all of these employees' costs. So I don't think that this subscription paywall service is necessary for them to stay afloat, especially not since they have this Patreon and they have such a successful YouTube channel already. Now, this isn't exclusive to just Watcher. There's been a lot of channels that have done similar things, and some of them have seen different degrees of success. I was researching it at the end of stream last night. However, all of the examples I can find of YouTube groups making their own third-party platforms where you can subscribe for exclusive content, that's a little different because they're not taking what was already free from that channel and putting it behind a paywall. They're adding like behind the scenes stuff, brand new shows, things like that, exclusive to that subscription tier on that third party website. And for a couple of them, I saw that their third party website was free with ads, and you had the option of subscribing for a monthly fee, whereas Watcher TV is only the $6 a month subscription fee, or the $60 a year. And it's weird because Watcher is already doing what those other channels do on their third party platform on their Patreon. They're already offering like the exclusive stuff there for the monthly charges, and now they're adding another separate monthly charge for the content that people were used to getting for free on YouTube. So it's really just such a fucking mess. Now, of course, there's no telling if this is going to be a successful venture for them. It certainly doesn't look like it based on the reception here and all the tomatoes that are getting tossed at them. But with an audience of their size, they don't need a large portion of them to sign up at $5.99 a month to make it viable. They don't need a large number of conversion here, and I think they know that. But I really think that they're going to be surprised with how little will likely sign up here, because it is expensive. That's not nothing. They framed it like $6 a month is affordable to everyone. What? We all have $6 lying around. You guys don't have phones? You got $6. Like, they make it sound like it's basically nothing, when it's not. That's a lot, especially on top of every other subscription that people have in their daily lives. But I just really think it's a pretty dumb idea. This is going to completely kill their growth as a brand. It's going to be a very hard sell to people that don't know the Watcher why they should be willing to pay $5.99 a month to watch YouTube videos. Like, that's just not an easy thing to sell to people. It only come from a very loyal fan base that's already hooked on their content in this audience they built on YouTube, which they're now abandoning. So they're not really going to be bringing in new people, I don't think. Even with dropping like the premiere video on their channel, I think that's just going to frustrate people more. Like, oh, I really want to watch the rest of this. Oh, but I have to pay $6.99 for it, and I only get this? Like, that's not worth. It just, to me, doesn't seem like it's going to be a good long-term plan. But I could be totally wrong. Who knows? Maybe people are, like, elated and can't wait to pay for more streaming services. I think that blows ass. I'm so tired of streaming services popping up all over the place like a fucking plague. It's like Hydra, cut off one head and two more streaming services take its place. And now we're seeing it for YouTubers? Like, that's not exciting. Point blank, I just do not like it. I do not like Green Eggs and Ham. I do not like it, Sam I Am. Watcher TV, what a sham. I understand why some other YouTube channels have third-party places where they can pay for more content, but they're paying for more content on top of what they're already getting on YouTube. So, like, I know Ross Creations has one, which apparently people really like the way he does it. I know Sidemen have Sidemen Plus, and it seems like people like that as well. And from what I can tell, that's just giving you, like, the very loyal, like, ferocious fans more of what you already like. So you're getting, like, behind-the-scenes stuff, you're getting exclusive content that is totally separate from the content that they're already getting on the primary platform. Whereas with Watcher, that's not the case. You're losing what you're used to, and that's it. You now have to access it through $6 a month to get that same content. It just doesn't feel good. Especially because they already have a Patreon. Like, they were already doing the standard, which people don't mind, and I don't think there's anything wrong with, where, you know, your audience pays the Patreon monthly fee or whatever, and they just get more content from you guys. The behind the scenes, the podcast, the special edition stuff, the sneak peeks, whatever. Like, that makes sense. Like, that's value there, and they keep getting the content that they're used to, that you've been providing to them for free, that made them a fan in the first place on YouTube. I don't know, it just feels like a real slap in the face, and I totally understand why people are upset about it. I don't like it either. And I hope this isn't the direction a lot of YouTubers decide to go down in the future. I don't really know why they thought this would go over well. To me, it really seems like some kind of corpo suit came in there, like a devil on their shoulder, whispering in their ear that this is the way of the future. This is the way to do things, making subscription-based third-party services outside of YouTube. Grow your presence on YouTube, and then abandon it. Try and take all of them to your third-party site where you can really milk them dry for more money. It sucks. Like, that's just not healthy at all. There's nothing good about that direction. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to kind of talk about this a little bit. That's really it. So yeah. It's impossible to say what the worst feeling in the world might be. I think most people would default to answering that with something painful, like getting hit with a sledgehammer, getting shot. Childbirth is usually towards the top of that tier list for how painful it is. Maybe watching Rebel Moon Part 2 for how abominable it is. But I actually think there's a right answer to what the worst feeling in the world is. And it's being dead. And a YouTube channel called Watcher would agree with my analysis because they experienced death for about 3 days when they released their Goodbye YouTube video, where they announced that they were leaving the platform in order to have their own subscription-based third-party platform for their content going forward, and people didn't like that. They got spit on more than a mic at a beatboxing competition, and now they're backpedaling. They've released an apology, and they've announced that they've made a mistake, they've apologized, and they've talked about their plan going forward now. I'll bring you up to speed on the lore in case you're unfamiliar with this story, but this is a massive YouTube channel. They are a beloved group where they made this absolute wet fart of announcement where it was saying that they were going to be producing all of their content going forward behind a paywall on their own platform for $6 a month. So all of the content that their fans were used to getting on YouTube for free is now locked behind a $6 a month subscription fee. They said they continue to drop premieres on YouTube, but the rest of the season, well, that would cost you some clams to access. Obviously, this ruffled everyone's feathers, especially considering they already have a Patreon where people were signing up for monthly membership fees of $5, $10, or $25 a month, and this was an additional service on top of that for a monthly subscription, so it was just a disaster. And they lost close to like 100,000 subs over the course of 3 days. It wasn't quite 100K, but it was a lot. And now, today, they've released this.
Hey everyone, last Friday we announced that we're leaving YouTube and launching our new streaming platform.
We messed up. A lot of you spoke out with extremely valid comments and concerns, and we want to take the time now to address those.
We've been reading the things you've been saying, and we're sorry for the way we handled this, as well as the way we communicated it.
Right up front, it succeeds where a lot of other YouTuber apologies fail. They say they fucked up, and they say the golden word, I'm sorry. They make an apology right off rip. So it's a pretty good start to this one, all things considered.
We understand where you're coming from, and we're making immediate changes.
First, we want to affirm that you are the reason why we've been able to do anything at this company. You helped us every step of the way when we left BuzzFeed to start Watcher at the top of the pandemic in 2020.
You've supported us in so many ways by watching our content, attending our live shows, buying our merch, becoming members of our Patreon, and giving words of encouragement over the years.
This is another super strong moment here because it's tugging on the audience's heartstrings. It's very much buttering them up in a positive way. I'm not saying that as a negative thing. It's clear that they recognize the significance of having that audience. The whole content creation shit online doesn't work if no one's watching it. I mean, I guess if you had like an army of bots that view it like you're a kick streamer or something, then maybe you can make an argument that it'd be sustainable even if you don't have a single human being watching. But clearly they understand that you need a passionate audience in order to survive in the online cyberspace Thunderdome. Now there is something I want to mention here though. He briefly mentions some of the ways the audience has supported them over the years, such as buying the merch, attending the live shows, subscribing to the Patreon for the monthly fee, and encouraging words. 3 out of 4 of those are huge revenue drivers. The kind words, not so much. You can't really make a whole lot of money. You can't convert nice comments to USD. There's no direct conversion there for that. I mean, unless you're making Hallmark cards, perhaps. But those other 3, attending live shows, subscribing to the Patreon, and also buying the merch. And there is a 4th one there as well, which is just by watching the videos, you are directly financially supporting them because AdSense through YouTube monetization, as well as the brand partners that have paid to be on their content. So they're already heavily monetized content, and I didn't even think about the live shows the first time I watched their video. That's a huge part of some teams' bottom lines because they bring in so much money. It's like one of the main revenue drivers for bands in particular with concerts and buying tickets to it. So they have a lot of revenue sources already for their brand. So then immediately after hearing that in this video, I was like, so then why did you want to do Watcher TV for $6 a month? You have all of these other streams that the audience has been supporting for so long. why would you want to have another one to milk those titties dry? Like, it just doesn't seem right. It seems greedy. Now, they do shine some light on the motive behind doing this, the reason behind the Watcher TV idea in the first place. So we'll get to that pretty soon.
And we are incredibly grateful for your support.
We're sorry for how we originally delivered our goodbye message to YouTube. It was insensitive. We didn't properly express how much we appreciate all of you. And we did a really bad job of explaining the reasoning behind this transition.
We also want to deeply apologize for our ignorance around the impact of the cost. We regret stating and implying that it's a price that anybody can afford, and we fully acknowledge that it is not. We didn't take the proper consideration for how this cost would affect you, and hope you know that we are taking this as a serious learning experience.
It seems like they really did listen to pretty much all the feedback. They're hitting all of the main points, both in their delivery as well as the actual idea behind this venture. So it's nice that they're up here taking the accountability and saying, yeah, these are things that we really just didn't even think about. I'm sorry, we fucked it up. Like, that is something that you don't see very often, so it's nice to see them just take it on the chin here.
With that in mind, we're making some changes to ensure that there's a way for our community to continue watching our content for free.
If you want to watch our shows early and ad-free, you can catch them on the Watcher platform a month earlier. After that, you'll be able to watch our shows on YouTube for free. For those that have already subscribed to the platform, we are so grateful for your support. But if this change has you rethinking your membership, we will issue a full refund. And all past episodes and series will remain available on YouTube.
That's a pretty solid change overall. That is something you see for a lot of Patreons for YouTubers, or third-party offerings if it's not Patreon. So it does make sense that they do this here. I am surprised that that's not something they were already offering on Patreon with early access. That's one of the more standard ones. But I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If there's people that are just hungry, starved for more Watcher content, they can subscribe for $6 a month on that platform, and they get that content fed to them a month early. And those that don't want to or can't afford to can just wait for it to premiere on YouTube for free, as it has always done in the past for the content that they've come to know and love. That gets 2 thumbs way up from me for the back of the DVD box on that change. I think that's completely fine. Everyone wins there. If you really want the content early, you subscribe to the early access membership for Watcher TV. And if you just want to get the content that you already know you like, you just wait for it to come up on YouTube, and it's no different for you. So I think that is a totally fair compromise.
As for the question of why we decided to launch our own platform, when we started Watcher in 2020, we wanted to create shows that we were proud of, that we had ownership over, and that would provide you the caliber of content that we felt you deserved. However, we were finding it harder and harder to stay relevant to advertisers and the constantly changing YouTube landscape.
This is where my eyebrow raised a bit, so I decided to look into their content just briefly. I didn't do like a full deep dive here, but of their last 20 videos, 12 of them have brands on them. I'm excluding their Goodbye YouTube video, but also there's one more in that batch of 20 that I think doesn't really count, and it's a teaser trailer for the mystery files that they did, so it was just a very short trailer. But 12 out of 19 full videos have sponsors in them. As I mentioned in the last video, I own an agency that manages a lot of major YouTube channels of this size and bigger. So I know what a lot of those deals look like, and I know that those deals are super lucrative. And at their size, those are significant numbers that we're looking at. Over half of their videos of the last 20 are brand partnered. It doesn't seem like they were really struggling to get brands on their content, so I don't exactly know what he means by staying relevant to brands, especially because in this industry, brands focus mainly on your cold, hard Carfax, your metrics, your numbers, and they pull in great viewership numbers as well as a very engaged community. So brands must have hearts in their eyes anytime they get the chance to work with Watcher, just because their numbers are so good. But on top of that, they actually produce some of the most brand-friendly content imaginable. This is the type of shit brands salivate over. It's long-form, highly produced content, and the creators actually do skits for the ads, at least in all the ones I've seen. They do like a fully produced brand piece in this content. So the audience actually enjoys watching these ads. That is a match made in heaven for sponsors. So I was very confused on what he meant by staying relevant to brands. And then the second thing about, staying relevant in like the ever-changing YouTube ecosystem, that's a totally understandable one. I get that. The YouTube ecosystem is 100% like this boogeyman that no one fully understands. But it doesn't really make sense to me. We found it harder and harder to compete in the ever-changing YouTube landscape, so we abandoned it. We waved the white flag and said we're defeated, so we created our own platform with blackjack and hookers. That's a Futurama reference. I'm not saying that's what Watcher TV is. But the point is, why would you go from this is a lot going on YouTube and it's changing to, all right, guess we got to leave it now and then charge people for access? That just doesn't really compute to me, because you kill your brand, obviously, which I think they've recognized now from all the feedback. It's very hard to get people to subscribe to $6 a month content on a third-party platform they don't know, as opposed to just showing them some free YouTube videos. You built your brand very successfully on YouTube, and you were still only growing from everything I can tell. So why would you abandon it at the height of your growth, right? Like that, I don't know, that reason doesn't really make a ton of sense to me, but I understand being like afraid about, long-term sustainability with how frequently YouTube is changing. I do get that, but I feel like the natural progression there would be like, okay, so how can we stay competitive on YouTube, as opposed to, okay, how the fuck can we get out of here?
We faced some incredibly challenging decisions. We didn't want to compromise our content to ensure they met advertising requirements. And we definitely did not want to lay people off that have brought Watcher to life behind the scenes. And we didn't want to bring Watcher to a close, which would have happened if we stayed solely on YouTube.
That's why we decided to launch the platform, so that we as a company could continue, we could pay our staff fairly, and not only continue to make great content for you, but expand with new shows, new voices, all ad-free. And now with the addition of accessible options, this is a decision that we all believe is the best for Watcher.
All those reasons he lists are perfectly reasonable. You don't want to lay off your staff, great. You want to pay them fair, great. Like all of these, they check mark the boxes of good shit. I support that. But I don't understand why your only option was to leave YouTube and charge $6 a month to your audience that's already paying for more merch, live shows, and Patreon. At least a large number of them are. They have over 13.4 thousand Patreon members right now. From all of this controversy, their Patreon has actually flourished more than it ever has, from what I can see. So why would you want to take even more money out of their piggy banks here? The strategy would be to keep growing on YouTube so you can continue to monetize, you can charge higher rates to the brands that you work with, that I imagine you will continue to work with. And also, more views means more AdSense money. And like I said, this channel is so advertiser friendly. It's exactly what brands and YouTube themselves want, long form, high quality content. Their RPM is probably super fucking high. So the more they would grow on YouTube, the more money they would stand to make. They would easily be able to expand, I would think, without charging $6 a month for their initial idea of paywalling the content that they were used to giving for free. I do like their new model of pay $6 a month for early access, but I still do find it unnecessary. I feel like the only reason that's there is because they can't fully walk back that now. They can't just get rid of that because people have already paid for it, so they need to offer something to those people that have already signed up. But I don't think it's a necessary thing for the survival of their brand. I really don't. Like I said, I know what these brands pay to be on the content. So just their sponsorships, I know they're bringing in six figures from these sponsorships. Easy. And their Patreon, you can start crunching the numbers. 13.4 thousand Patreons at $5 minimum, up to $25. Like, come on. That's a lot per month. Plus their merch is pretty pricey, and people are clearly buying their merch. It seems to sell out quite a bit. That's a lot too. Live show tickets, when those come around, that's a pretty big influx. Their AdSense popping off. Like, they have so many revenue streams. I don't know how they can possibly be at this point where they need to find more ways of taking money from their audience in order to survive. That just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, unless there's some really odd mismanagement going on behind the scenes here. The videos they make aren't cheap, but I am confident that they're not costing them $500,000 per video or something outlandish like that. I know that's not the case. So how can you possibly be at this point where we had to find a new subscription for people to pay for in order to keep Watcher alive? I just don't get that.
However, we realized that in figuring out the logistics of what this might take, we overlooked the way it would impact all of you. We hope you'll be patient with us through these mistakes, and we remain incredibly sorry that they were made in the first place.
We also want to directly address our Patreon community, who have played such a key role in supporting us from the very beginning. All current Patreon members will receive a free subscription code to the platform. If you already purchased a subscription, please contact us and we will issue you a full refund.
We look forward to continuing to make shows and introducing all the incredible things that we've got planned for the platform alongside YouTube. And in the meantime, we are forever grateful to all of the people who make up our community. And we hope that you consider joining us in this next chapter of our journey, whether that's on YouTube or on the platform.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Overall, this is a good apology video, I feel. They say I'm sorry multiple times, they admit their faults, they try and explain why things were the way that they are, and how they missed the mark. Like, they take a lot of it and seem to understand it from a place of genuine authenticity, which is great. I still, however, don't understand why it reached that point to begin with. I don't see how a channel of their size and their success with all of the revenue streams that they currently offer could possibly be struggling financially. I don't understand. I don't. Like, knowing what I know about this space, I just don't see how they could be needing to take even more money from their audience to survive. I do think they made a good change with what they're offering for $6 a month. I personally don't think that it's necessary at all, though. Especially because the way they frame it in this video makes it sound like that's the only way the watcher survives, is if they find a way to monetize even more off the backs of their viewers. So that's why the $6 a month there is being charged, because it helps keep them afloat. I don't know how they could possibly, with all of these revenue streams, be struggling to the degree that they make it seem like they are. But whatever, that's neither here nor there, I suppose. This announcement was very positively received by their audience, and that's the most important thing for the health of their channel and their brand, is that their audience feels satisfied with this update. And from what I can tell, they do. A lot of them do still state that there's been a breach of their trust here with what they tried, but it seems like they're forgiving and willing to see how things play out for this group in the future. So I guess we'll see what the watcher does down the line. That's really about it. So yeah. There's few things on this planet that make me more mad than drunk drivers. I've said that a lot in the past, so that shouldn't come as some kind of shocking revelation. But what is shocking is the clip that I saw today from two degenerate kick streamers who proudly broadcast themselves drinking and driving while speeding on the interstate and acting like they're playing Need for Speed Underground 2. Literally putting every innocent person's life at risk on that road. Their content was commit a crime and see if you get to witness them die in the act and go straight to hell. And also most likely take others to the grave with them. It is so fucking incomprehensibly evil. Goofy sex offender Stash here takes a huge swig from the Smirnoff while driving recklessly. So Inbred Speed Racer is broadcasting all this on Kick, which is very successful for this type of content because the audience loves to see people gamble with their lives. I have no doubt his viewers were on the edge of their seat, biting at their nails, wondering, are they about to witness two stupid assholes get themselves killed? And you can see in the chat that they are celebrating. They are pumping their fists. This is the best content ever, because they might get to watch these dumb fucking douchebags die. Yeehaw. What a fucking disgusting situation. Now, I suppose there is a chance that the Smirnoff has been replaced with water. Doesn't change the reckless driving. That's not smoke and mirrors or CGI or anything. They're not exactly on the set where The Mandalorian was filmed or anything. So that's still 100% authentic, but I guess it is possible that they're not drinking and driving. But I find that very unlikely. But let's just go ahead and suspend disbelief. Let's assume they're faking drunk driving. They're so pathetic. What an absolute vermin. So desperate for clout from Kick, of all places. That's like being the class president of the loony bin, that you'll pretend to be committing a crime for their entertainment. They are there to just watch you ruin your life, and you're proudly dancing for them, you absolute clowns. But the worst part about this is they're not just ruining their lives, they could have potentially ended the lives of completely innocent people around them. That is just evil, no matter how you spin this. 100% I think this is real. I don't think they replaced the Smirnoff with water. I am confident that these degenerates were actually drinking and driving while doing this. Just throws the bottle of Smirnoff out the window there for some reason. It's like a child with a sugar rush. Just has so much energy, so much adrenaline going on right now that he needs to break something, so he fucking throws the bottle of Smirnoff out the window. What losers? What absolute losers? They really think that this is hard. They think that this is cool somehow. The guy driving isn't doing anything impressive. He's driving on an interstate changing lanes. It's just dangerous. It's not impressive. Anyone can do that if they have a disregard for their lives and the safety of everyone around them as well. It's not like a very incredible maneuver that we're witnessing, a fucking master of his craft. You know, this isn't something you'd see in Fast and Furious and just be like wide-eyed and blown away by the talent. And then his stupid fucking friend here feeding him alcohol while he himself is also drinking and then throwing it out the window like it's a grenade. Like, this is the lamest shit ever. And they really are so proud of it. Risking your life for 125 viewers and 6 chatters. Nice. Imagine just throwing everything away, committing crimes for 125 viewers that are all there just to see if you're gonna die or not. What a miserable existence that must be. They need to be thrown in jail. 100%. Lock them the fuck up. I think the evidence here is irrefutable. We've got them documenting their own crimes in 4K, well, it's definitely not 4K, documenting their own crimes in crisp 480p kick stream here. It should be a slam dunk case for whoever wants to pursue that. For their safety and the safety of everyone around them, they need to be in jail. 100%. Because they'll probably keep doing this. I imagine this won't be their last drunk driving stream. This is probably just the beginning. They'll probably try and make this their whole brand right now because I have no doubt they view it as a very successful stream. I think the only thing we can pray for here is that when they inevitably do crash, they don't hurt anyone else around them. Or hopefully they get arrested before that happens. Who knows? But anyway, wanted to talk about this a little bit because it had me fuming. It had my blood boiling. I have absolutely no tolerance for drunk drivers whatsoever. There's no excuse for it, and the fact that you're so proud of it to be streaming the entire thing is crazy to me and just foul. It's fucked up. That's about it. See ya.